domination in a can. Tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
How's it going? And welcome to the Rainbow Six U.S. Nationals. Sorry for that little bit of a snafu there at the beginning of the broadcast, but that's okay. We're back once again to bring you more action. You saw on Tuesday we had the beginning of our conference qualifiers for the West Coast, and now it's time to start the conference qualifiers to the East Coast. Over the last 4 weeks, we have had 4 separate teams qualify through a series of open tournaments, and now each one of them are going to clash against each other for only one single spot at the end of the bracket and at our LAN at the end of the year. Joining me here on the desk this evening is Veli. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm pretty happy with what's about to go down tonight because last time we casted, we had some great games. We've had an appetizer for the past few weeks. The main course is now here, and we get to see my boys over at Parallax are showing up tonight, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting affair, most notably for Parallax themselves, and we'll talk more about that in just a second. They're going to be facing off against former Pro League team Rise Nation.
Ooh.
Following that one, we'll also see Space Station go up against Dark Zero. It should be noted we normally do 3 matches on these broadcasts, folks. It's only 2 tonight, as the final matchup between the winner of each of those matches is going to be a best of 3, and as such, we're going to play that next week. In the case of the East Coast and the winners for these specific matches, it'll be next Thursday. The West Coast matches, the 2 preceding matches, which were already played on last Tuesday, are going to be played next Tuesday.
Yes, and also for those of you at home, feel free to join the discussion. If you have Twitter, go ahead and utilize the hashtag R6USN. Feel free to ask us any type of questions, talk about the matchups, say what's ever on your mind, and you never know, we might jump in there and join you in on the talk. So with that being said, we also give away a lot of money here on USN.
Quite a bit of money, in fact, and that's presented by our friends over at Venmo. Big shout out to them. $700 in weekly prizes being given out every single week for our community spotlight. Be sure to send us your clips. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be USN stuff. It can be your own clips of you streaming or just you playing the game on your own. As long as it's Rainbow Six related, it's acceptable. So send us the clip with the hashtag Venmo Community Spotlight and be sure to submit it at the link down below right here, esl.gg/Venmo-R6USN. That's also the link where you can find all the necessary rules for the contest. And of course, once again, to submit your entry, make sure you get it into that link or we unfortunately won't be able to consider it for this week's contest.
And also, I like to point out there, we actually have the most entries ever for this Venmo competition. So after this show, I'm going over clips. I'm going to choose a few winners, so make sure you put them in there. Make sure they don't have to be all-star, montage clips. It can be funny. They could be nice, Put a few clips together that's going to catch our eyes, and you might win a few bucks. $100 for third place, second place, and $500 for first place. But let's jump right into the rosters. The very first roster we are going to talk about is going to be my boys over at Parallax Gaming. Cry Magic, Bravo Dog, my man Blarn, Fahoud and Malfano. Last time we saw this team, they had a huge upset against Dark Zero in order to make it this far.
And started the trend, really, of these types of kind of like almost pickup group teams showing up and upsetting against a lot of our more well-known Pro League teams. It's been a really cool thing to see here at USN. And Parallax, I think, is one of the teams that's thrived the most in it so far. We also had Hat do it back in Stage 1 as well. Didn't manage to make it all the way, unfortunately, to the LAN, but still managed to see them sneak through, too. So now it's time to see if Parallax themselves are going to be able to make it past their opponents, who in this case are going to be Rise Nation, a team like we were saying before. Unfortunately, have had a little bit of a fall from grace recently, losing their Pro League spot, but have still been fighting out in the other leagues, and you can see the roster here. Vandal, England, Acid, Factor, and the most recently added, as they have been playing around with their 5th a little bit, Tracken, being joined on there about a few weeks ago.
Yeah, they're not going to play around with that fifth much longer because Trace Williams, my man Tracken, has been a factor. And speaking of factor, his duo, his slaying duo, is actually factor. Last time you and I casted this roster, no, it was Sam and I. I'm sorry about that. I love casting with you too. But last time we casted this team here at USN, factor and Tracken, man. Two-man army. They were incredible. They were slaying out. Seven Spades and Rise Nation were one of my favorite matchups so far. And these two, they're going to have to really bring it against Parallax.
Yeah, Seven Spades, another team that just barely managed to, unfortunately, not make it here into the conference qualifiers this time, but has been competing quite well in USN overall over the course of Stage 2. Now, time to show the maps here in a moment as well and see where exactly this matchup is going to end up going between these two teams. We'll have to see, as like you were mentioning before, Rise hasn't necessarily had the easiest affair over these past few weeks here, and it's still a best of one, as you can see from our map veto screen. So ultimately, the same mistakes could be made, leading to that complete reset. That's still what is going to be on the line for the teams.
No.
We're going to be heading to Clubhouse.
That Clubhouse.
Which, looking at it, normally if you're coming into this one as a pretty casual fan, you'd think, given the reputation between these two teams, this should be an easy one for Rise. But Clubhouse, probably not one of the better maps that they could have gone to, considering that the only matchup they have in recent history was a pretty devastating loss to Space Station here at USN a few weeks back. I think it was week 2 of Stage 2.
It was a 7-2?
Yeah, it was
they won 2 rounds.
7-2 against their favor.
Oh my God, I remember it. They won their last 2 defense rounds, and then after that, blunder after blunder. We saw somebody jump off a roof and try to do a front flip. They killed themselves. We saw team kills left and right. They didn't know who to shoot, and it was a pretty bad matchup. Ever since then, Rise picked it up. They're here now, but you saw the facts at the bottom. Parallax. They are the only undefeated team on USN.
They're undefeated. It should be noted that they've only played that 1 week of open qualifiers,
they're undefeated.
To be fair.
They're still undefeated.
There is a bit of a caveat to that stat, but it is true nonetheless. We won't take that away from them. You've heard enough about what we think of this matchup. However, now it's time to see what you guys at home thought. Our community vote is in, and it is quite decisively in the favor of Rise Nation. 88 to 12%. We'll see how true that ends up being held, as I think both Veli and I are looking to this matchup now and seeing maybe there is a chance for Parallax to take this one step further. I'd say it's a possibility, personally. But big question mark is, okay, we haven't really seen Parallax since they qualified for the most part. Maybe catch them in a few open qualifier matches for Rally or something like that. But besides that, there really hasn't been much opportunity, at least here on our mainstream, for these guys to impress. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how well they're going to be able to step up to the plate this time.
I want to see if that heat fills it out just a little bit, because for me, okay, I feel like Rise Nation should win this match, but something tells me that Parallax might pass tonight.
I mean, Parallax showed up with a lot of aggression, if you remember correctly, when they upset against 0, and that was mainly how they were able to win that matchup, was just constantly forcing them to have to rethink their strategy, constantly keeping their opponents guessing about what exactly they were going to be doing. Whether they're going to be able to keep that kind of unpredictable play up on a map like Clubhouse.
Yeah. I don't know, because
it's
a lot of random
harder.
play. So being on Coastline, abusing Line and other operators that a lot of professional teams don't, they stray away from. They ban those players. Those are the operators that they usually bring. When you go to Clubhouse, it's pretty much systematic. We know what's going to happen. We know what operators are going to be used, and there's really not a lot of surprises that we see often. So do they have tricks up their sleeve this time around that we haven't seen before?
Ban phase might end up being pretty interesting too when you consider that factor too, as they played a pretty unorthodox game plan the last time we saw them. So it's going to be fun to see if Parallax is going to be able to meet the test this time. This is when it really matters now, right? Now they get past this one. If they make it into the next match, that's when it gets really cool as well, because that's when we get to see them play around with the best of 3, and we really get to test their mettle, because up until that point it would have only been best of 1s they would have had to play into, which, of course, best of 1s always have the caveat of, okay, you could, kind of battle your way through it in a bit of a not so pretty way at the end of the day. So that'll really be the final check for those guys, and it would give them a slot to land ultimately if they were able to make their way through it. So.
And I'm happy you brought that up, because the best of 1 is pretty much a sprint rather than a marathon. The best of 3 is more of a strategic game. You start off on defense. Hey, if the map is defensive side A and you start off on attack, it might not work out for you, but we'll swing back around the second map. We'll get them back next time. Best of 1. If you start off on the wrong side or just start off slow, period, it's curtains. You're going to get wrapped up really fast. So Parallax, if they can start off strong, it's going to be an issue. But Rise Nation, they like I said before, they struggled against 7 Spades. They've struggled throughout the entirety of USN. They have the talent to do it. So, England, is that tour going to end, man? We don't want it to end yet, England. Let's see what Rise is all about.
Yeah, last time they played on Clubhouse, not a single defensive round won by them, and only 2 attacking rounds won over the entire map after starting out on the attacking side.
It was attack.
Yeah, it was attack, and they managed to win those 2 rounds. But ultimately, though, still not a very good look coming out that matchup, but that was almost a month ago now that they played into that, so hopefully there has been a good amount of time between now and then for them to correct the mistakes that may or may not have been happening in that previous matchup and fix them for going up against Parallax here tonight. As with such an unknown factor going up against them, it's more going to be about testing themselves than it necessarily is about outwitting their opponents, at least in my eyes for this matchup.
Yeah, the biggest worry for me so far for Parallax, if you want to make this upset story come to life, if you want to, fairy tales to come true and all, you cannot lean on Bravo Dog like you did last time you were on USN. Bravo Dog carried a lot of weight on his shoulders. Bravo Dog was the immediate slayer, the entry fragger. He was a guy clutching rounds out. Fahoud had a very great round late game, but you can't expect that, people coming in late. You're going to have to all shoot off on all cylinders from the beginning if you want to beat a team like Rise Nation.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if they'll be able to do it, folks. We're just a few seconds away from starting the match, hopefully. And once we do jump into that, we'll get right into the ban phase, see which operators, are going to be knocked out.
Trust me, we're waiting for this game to start right now. This is on the players right now. So, yeah, with that being said, who do you think is going to win this matchup?
I want to believe in the hype for Parallax, personally.
I want to.
However, I do personally think that Rise wouldn't have picked this map if they were only going off of the result from Space Station a month ago. I think that they've probably made some improvements on the back end of things, and they're probably going to be pretty ready for this matchup ultimately against Parallax. And I don't think that they're underestimating the kind of wild card factor that this roster, Parallax's roster, I should say, is bringing to the table either. So I'd say Rise is going to take it, but I think it's going to be pretty close.
Yeah, so one player I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on. Okay, I spoke about Tracken. I don't know if he's playing under Frey tonight. I hope not. Yeah, we spoke about Tracken, we spoke about Factor, but England was a star in the first series last time they played here at USN. I believe England went 10-1 the very first map, and he was just a fragging all-star. But the second time they played, he was more of a laid-back support role, and he wasn't really heavy in the Factor department for this roster. So we've seen different looks of Rise Nation. Which look are we going to see tonight? It seems like they're still learning their identity right now, which is going to be very interesting, especially going against a team as random as Parallax Gaming.
Makes sense, though, for a team, for Rise specifically, to be finding their identity in the current climate, considering what recently happened with them, obviously getting dropped out of Pro League and whatnot, going back down to CL. It's a time for kind of figuring themselves out, and I think USN is a really good place for teams to try and do that in, so that may be what they're trying to experiment with now as well, is kind of trying to figure out what works, what may not work for the upcoming seasons of some of the other leagues, too. It's like we've been seeing before, USN is used kind of as a stomping ground for teams to try out some newer and some more interesting plays, which makes it fun. Like, it makes it a really cool little experimentation ground almost to a certain extent for teams.
And also, it's a great environment to test out to see how well you fare against the tier 1 teams in the game. The reason why I really believe in the hype for Parallax Gaming is because they're for the small guys. They're showing these other up and coming teams like, hey, we can make it this far. We've stuck together. We battled it out against the best of the best. We beat Dark Zero. We can do this. So if they happen to win this game tonight, Stage 3 is going to be scary. We're going to see a lot of randoms rising to the top in these qualifiers, man, because they're going to be hungry.
And that's considering we still are missing quite a few of our expected teams to jump into these brackets as well. EG, for instance, has been waiting for approval to bring Geo into the US so they could use him, which, hey, they just got that a few days ago. So they will likely be playing at the beginning of Stage 3. However, guys, unfortunately, there is a small delay with getting this match started, and we do apologize for that. So please stick with us. We're going to be coming back to you in approximately 5 minutes with the beginning of this match and the start to see who's going to be getting closer and closer to LAN at the end of the season.
is game fuel. 16 ounces of pure annihilation. Perfect for finding the second to last man standing. Tastes like berry-flavored wind sauce.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the U.S. Nationals.
Yes.
It's match time. We do apologize for the delay, but as you can see, we are getting started with our first of just 2 matches tonight. It's going to be a short one once again, folks. Rise Nation will be starting out on the attacking side on Clubhouse.
Yes. Factor, we love you. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This man knows how to get the casters on his side. But big shout out to Factor and the rest of those guys. But they are getting the match started. Our first ban is going to be Capitao from Parallax's side. Rise will now throw their bans into the pool with the first, or second, I should say, and first defender ban. Second attacker ban, first defender ban. Wow.
Okay, I like this. Maverick and Capitao are really, really dangerous when it comes to attack because we've seen Capitao tricks being used to stop the bandit tricking over up top in CCTV. Maverick, I mean, is pretty much self-explanatory. He is by far the best hard breacher out there. He's a nuisance. There's no direct counter. So getting him out the game is going to be extremely important, especially on that lower level bomb site. But Maestro being banned, what are your thoughts?
Maestro, a pretty standard ban for the most part. For some reason on USN, it's been him over Echo, far more, and Bandit, interestingly enough. That's not one we see get banned out very often at all, but makes sense when you consider the prevalence of those tripwires that will be useful on this matchup. So more than likely, Kaid or Mute going to get swapped in on those opportunities. This is where the potential ban of it becomes kind of questionable since it's so easy to swap that role out for another operator now. But like I said before, I'm not saying it's a bad ban. I'm just saying it's one that arguably is not going to be maybe as effective as they were hoping. But we'll see.
He was banned for the simple fact that Maverick and Capitao was also banned. So getting Bandit out of there, I'm telling you now, Thatcher is going to be God. Thatcher is king. Kaid, his claws aren't going to be able to deploy fast enough to stop any type of hard breach coming in from Thermite, even Habana. So getting into sight is going to be as easy as ever because the only denial that they're going to have is definitely going to be Kaid. But then against Kaid, you're going to have Thatcher, you're going to have Zofia, everything in your arsenal to be able to stop him. And the very first sight is going to be downstairs in Church and Armory. So it's going to be a fun one. But already on defense, it's going to be Parallax Gaming taking a look at the operators. Echo's going to be in play, which is pretty much going to be a standard. It's going to be a staple, especially with Maestro being taken out the game. But for Hood on Legion, he's going to be the man of the hour. His roam presence should be extremely important to slow down Rise Nation and their aggressive attack.
And as you guys are used to knowing as well here with a player like Legion on your team, Fahoud's best interest is going to be to try to stay alive for as long as possible due to the snowballed effects of the extra matrix of control that he's going to be able to set up, with eventually being able to put, I believe the number is 6 maximum of those goo mines around the map.
All right, and on attack, my man Frey is going to be tracking, by the way. So if you hear me say tracking, I mean Frey. Frey is going to be on Zofia, which is going to be a really good operator for him to be on. So he can pretty much frag out. The utility is going to be in his hands that can take care of just about everything, Soft breach when it comes to stunning, he has it all. And Factor, track stinger, smoke grenades, the utility is going to be on his side. Plus a 3 armored operator is going to fit him. It's going to suit him extremely well.
Slow start as you might expect here from Rise. Not a huge amount of active denial roaming presence coming in from Parallax at this point. They're keeping it pretty close to the chest on the site as far as we can see, with maybe 1 or 2 players off site. So this means that Rise, well, it's quite literally going to be able to walk right into the basement. Yeah, Frey already being at the bottom of main stairs is very rare, in my opinion, for this early on in the round. Now, to be honest, without control beyond this, you can't really go past this, so they still have to play with Kitchen, try to get the hatch open there, maybe flush out the players that are hiding in Armory. You're going to see Fahoud trying to get the timing on an impact nade, and he almost does it too. It's going to be a little off the mark, unfortunately, for trying to actually kill anyone.
Yeah, it's pretty nice headsets on because that audio cue worked out pretty well as he almost got that impact nade to go ahead and put in some type of damage on the attacking team. But a little bit of a hard breach coming in from Rise Nation. They're looking to open up more lines into the site. Not a lot of action so far as we're now pushing the 1 minute and 30-second mark. But a drone coming in towards tunnel. Rise Nation are going to see exactly where everybody is on defense. Trying to gather in all the intel. And with a flashbang currently coming in, the Yokai drone is going to be in play. And with the first gunfight of the game, Fahoud, he's going to get a nice headshot to take Tracken out the game.
So from Parallax, the more active pressure, especially with the Yokai drone, to try and stop the tunnel pressure. Not something that we see too often, to be completely honest. And it's going to work very well for Parallax. A second kill now found from them. Traxing is going to go down to the back. It actually does force the Jaeger out of position. However, they can't punish him so easily. Still no! I was going to say, thought they had him dead for sure, but Malfano holds on to his life with just over 25 HP. Fahoud's done the same. Finally, Malfano is going to go down after Acid is able to catch him when he attempts to fall back to the site. And now with Blarn, however, trading out onto Vandal, well, it's all left on Acid at this point. A 1v now 3 set against him. Started with 4. He's going to get stunned out by another Yokai. Goes down to Blarn, and Parallax with definitive control of the basement take control of the first round.
And that's where you need an IQ to come and play, because the Yokai drone came into effect, and he was effective since the very first initiation by both teams. So let's see if Rise Nation are going to learn from their mistakes and pull up an IQ and put England. I want to see England on IQ. One of the best Yokai hunters in A. In Factor, he's going to be on Montaigne. So this strategy is going to be pretty interesting to see with the gym and bedroom bomb sites currently. But Turn's going to be on Kite, so he's going to have really big responsibility when it comes to the balcony over near Hot Tub. Let's see if he can go ahead and beat out the hard breacher, which is going to be England. With the 6 pick coming in from Bravo Dog, my man is going to stay on Legion. Yep, he's going to stay on Legion, not Jaeger. So the roam game from him, he's a presence, but Parallax is slain right there. Phenomenal. This map is defender-sided, and Parallax are doing exactly what should happen. Hey, win at least 4 to 5 rounds on defense to start off the game, and you're going to be in great footing.
Now, I am interested to see how the opening few seconds of this round go once Rise actually do spawn, as we did have the 6 pick away from a Montaigne onto a sledge. I don't think it's going to happen just because of the nature of how this site needs to be played, but it would be interesting to see if they tried to go for something a little bit faster, considering that they're not going to use the Montaigne, as a Montaigne usually indicates and is a very dead giveaway to a defending team of a very slow style execute. You're not going to see very fast plays of the Montaigne often. And with the sledge, that's not necessarily the case, and overall they have a very fast executing team lined up here with their 5 operators. So we'll see if they try something. Unfortunately, like I said, the site relies on opening up quite a few angles before you can even really attempt an execute, so I don't think that's going to happen. Yeah. Let's find out.
Yeah, I currently see the chat going crazy for Parallax right now after they just saw the win round number 1. And already Tracking, he wants all the smoke, already pre-firing through the window, and he's aware that somebody's over there, but he's unable to connect so far as no damage has been taken from both teams. But with some current droning happening towards kitchen, and I'm pretty sure stairs going up to the 2nd floor. I want to see what's exactly going to happen. And the first exothermic charge will be placed, but the Electroclaw currently gets knocked. Yeah, that's going to be it. Banding Bandit. All you have is Kite in those 2 claws. When those are done, the breaches are going to be quite easy. And Acid, he's looking to pick up his first kill. Yeah, he's not going to connect, but with that line of sight currently open, Rise Nation, they're going to have the presence needed to get into bedroom.
Alfano trying to open a pinhole here to try and see if he can shoot through on the players on the balcony, but not going to be able to find anyone so easily this early on in the round. All players still stay alive, although Frey takes a small sliver of damage to running into a goo mine at the top of the main stairs. More of an intel giveaway than anything at this point.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to take that control. The hatch has been opened. They'll flash over the top just to try and force these players away so they can open up the 2nd hatch, get better access to the site, and actually start their execute. If they get this open now with a minute and a half left, this is incredibly early on, but we'll see if there's any attempt to trick it. Nope. Out goes the bathroom, and now that's a lot of control for Rise, and all of a sudden Parallax will have to be a lot more worried about their positioning in the round.
With the hard breach now gone, you're going to have to depend on your impact nades, and the impact nades didn't come through, especially the C4s. And England gets his team kill on Acid. But you know what? Tracking, he's going to go ahead and redeem his teammate by taking out Blarn, and that's going to be 2 straight deaths for Rise Nation as Tracking joins the graveyard. So Parallax currently up in lives.
I'm curious as to how Mofano got the kill too, because there was, at least as far as I could tell, there was a Claymore on those stairs at one point. So either that got killed or something else. Vandal waiting for that peek, and he still can't punish the player that works his way out from it. Bravo Dog wrapping back around finds England, and Bana gonna get caught on a jump in. So that's Parallax, 2 for 2 now as they take control of the bedroom for for their second round.
And it's looking scary because Rise Nation, they're having no problems getting into sight, with Kaid being the only real threat when it comes to hard breach denial. His 2 electric claws, they fell immediately, so the exothermic charges are going to bust through balcony, it's going to bust through bathroom. Rise Nation, they're able to, run into sight, but the only thing that's stopping them is the gunfire. Bravo Dog, Blarn, Malfano, the rest of this roster for Parallax Gaming, they're gunning out of their minds right now, and this is the scary part about them. They're not afraid to peek. They're not going to respect the other roles that pros have when it comes to peeking angles and going into fights. They're going to throw all those rules out the window. They're confident in their gunplay, and they want to prove to the road and Rise Nation that they're going to win this matchup.
Yeah, and besides the little runaround that we saw at window, like there wasn't really anything that far out of the ordinary from Parallax in that round. We had a late roamer rotating back up main stairs, which really punished the kind of pinch capability that Rise had as they lost their main stairs position. And again, like I said, as far as I could remember, Zofia or Frey had put a claymore down in those stairs at one point, so either he picked that back up and decided not to put it down, or it actually got successfully dealt with without Frey noticing. So their Valkyrie was able to just walk right up, take him down, and from that point forward, things slowly just started to fall apart for Rise. Rise, who, by the way, had a great early round. Got both of these hatches open where Fahoud is right now.
Yeah.
Still a minute and a half left. Normally that's so much time to play with, and you be able to kind of just slowly look for kills from that point forward, but weren't able to get it done. So Parallax doing a fantastic job on their defense right now.
And Fahoud's going to be roaming around with Mozzie, one of my favorite operators. With that pest launcher, he's able to jot out 3 of them to go ahead and capture any type of intel devices that Rise Nation throws at him in regards to drones. If you're able to get a drone or 2, that's going to be good. It's going to help him out when it comes to roaming, but the last one going out in stock room, that's going to be it for him. So let's see if he's going to capitalize. But already Frey is going to be over here in tunnel, moving in quite quickly. He has wasted no time when it comes to coming in the clubhouse and pretty much, pressing the issue when it comes to, pushing the attack against Parallax Gaming.
Well, once again, things are going to start quite slowly here for Rise, and good reason given how slowly these rounds have needed to go for them. We're going to see Fahoud knock out a drone right there. He does realize there's the possibility for a player right around the corner. Already used all his pests, of course, so we can't capture any of these drones right now, because they are positioned elsewhere on the map, but all that's going to do is force him out of position. Thankfully, for his sake, no one else on Rise is in a position to punish and kill him, so he can just fall back up cache stairs and stay relatively safe for the time being.
Yeah, he pretty much was saved for the fact that no one rushed in the garage to go ahead and get that kill because of the fact that Bravo Dog is holding down the 2nd level right now. So, with the pressure currently being applied over in the bottom floor of garage, see Habana primed and aimed, ready to take out Bravo Dog. They're waiting for the right moment. Oh, he saw his head just for a second, just a glimpse. And by going prone, he's going to be able to protect himself momentarily. But the moment that he gets up, it's going to be a problem. With Capital being banned out the game, the asphyxiating boats won't be able to take him out. But you see Twitch working her way up the stairs. She wants this gunfight. They want to take Bravo Dog out the game.
Timing on these peaks as well is going to be so important. Frey, however, is going to be the one that strikes first. Acid follows it up shortly afterwards with a 2nd kill too, finding multiple kills over by cache steps. Factor is able to take down Bravo, and this is an incredibly different affair compared to what we've been seeing prior to this. All of a sudden, it's all on Blarn in a 1v5 situation. Now, there is only a minute left, but in a 1v5, surely there's no way for Blarn to be able to clutch this out. He'll be completely surrounded relatively soon. There's the first pickup for him.
Nice.
Does down a 2nd player, but is unable to complete it. And ultimately, Vandal will take him down, giving Rise their first round.
My man Flynn says that was a valiant effort, but there was no way in hell he was going to clutch that match, especially with that nice purple character skin that he's currently donning. He put out the shotgun, but it was just a second too late. And yeah, after getting the first 2 kills, he was taken out quite quickly. Rise Nation finally picking up their first win, and hopefully they can learn to storm back after that type of momentum shift that can come on their end. I'm taking a look at the operators currently chosen. Terran, he's been holding on strong to Echo, but Fahoud, Malfano, I'm going to expect more from them when it comes to his roaming presence. That sight wasn't good for him at all.
Now, I think the key takeaway from last round as well is Rise finally were able to deal with some of the more aggressive movements that Parallax were making. They found intel on the Mozzie a lot earlier on in the round, forced him back up the cache stairs, and then when he and one other teammate tried to re-aggress, it just did not work. Rise was ready to counter that out. Took them both down without much traded damage. We saw, I believe it was Malfano, who had been holding a garage, died a few seconds after that too. As we had seen on the stream, they spent a considerable amount of time dealing with him, and then from that point forward, it was just an easy 5v2, which they took pretty predictable control of.
I mean, let's be quite honest. Let's be real for a second. Malfano got bullied all the way up cache stairs, and he wasn't able to help out anybody at all when it came to stock, bar entrance, bottom floor garage. Once he relinquished that entire first floor area, that was Rise Nation's real estate. They came in, dominated, started off the game with 2 straight kills in about a second's time. And in Parallax Gaming, I mean, they pretty much got smacked up. So let's see if that aggressive gameplay is going to pay off this time around for Parallax, and they're going to need their roamers to step up big this time when it comes to holding off the attackers. So, going all the way down low again where they've been successful, I mean, this is pretty much a safe bet for them.
Rise out on the board once again. Let's take a look and see how they're going to try to improve on things for this second basement attack, and most notably, how Parallax is looking to keep the record consistent on defense now and prevent another shutdown like we had before. Now, to be fair, on this basement, they weren't really very aggressive when they played it last time. They kind of just stuck to the site and for the most part just destroyed the execute when push came to shove. The only area where they really played aggressively was the tunnel.
Yeah.
And that was where I think they were able to pick up 2 kills by kind of surprising Rise more than anything, because you normally don't see so much heads-up aggression there.
Yeah, Frey, a.k.a. Dragon, is going to move right back down and do the same thing he did last time, putting down the C4 to stop that run-up from those stairs. Then he's going to back up, join his teammates, find another way of entry. And with the exothermic charge currently happening, yep, here it is, stock. That hatch is currently going to get opened up, and Malfano, he's looking right above, waiting for the right moment to get a kill as he's hiding in blue. But he does have a teammate with him over in Armory. So if anybody drops down immediately, that's going to be instant death. So Rise Nation going to have to find another way of entry into the site.
Tunnel has also been opened now by Frey and the rest of his teammates as they're going to try to work their way in from here as well. So Oil Slick now, that was actually a pretty risky dive for Massa considering the hole's been opened up onto the site. They'll know a player's back there now, so make attempts to counter that.
This could be a bait. If they pull up and try to challenge Acid, they're going to get killed from shots coming down from that stock hatch. So Acid is currently taking his time, being patient, but Parallax, they're starting to realize that, and they're not pushing that blue area. But with the nice grenade, Factor is going to get the first kill of the game. Malfano, he's going to be the victim of a nice frag toss.
Again, Rise in position very early on here in consideration of the overall round timers. There's still lots of time to sit back and wait for Parallax to get over-aggressive and take these duels that, in all honesty, they really shouldn't be taking. Rise, in the meanwhile, starting to get a little bit nervous about it now. They move forward, trying to get some damage off, but it's not going to connect. The rest of the players moving in to try and take primarily blue control. Vandal's going to strike true. Manages to get Turin on the other side of the AC unit in blue. Flashbang's trying to hold back some of these players, and in the meanwhile, England is going to attempt to put the diffuser down for the first time. Might not even need it, though, as they're just dealing with these players one by one. Frey and Factor with 2 more kills. Now only 1 player left. Bravo! That slug Shoddy finding the first trade. He's got a lot more work to do, however, as once again, it's a 1v5 situation to clutch out the round, then it won't even get close. Bravo Dog goes down to Acid, and Rise find their second.
Acid able to get a good angle coming. Oh, I thought he was in blue, but with that self-destruction and wall, is able to pick up a nice headshot. And like you said, Rise Nation, they're picking off kills 1 by 1 now. Parallax Gaming, their sporadic gameplay and strategy isn't paying off right now. And Rise, they're catching on to that. See, now they're taking their time. They're playing a little bit slower, catching people off guard. And by doing that, Parallax are getting caught off guard. The difference in strategy that we saw, or the versatility that we saw in strategy on Coastline, it's not going to apply here on Clubhouse, you know? You're not going to be able to go ahead and abuse operators like Lion and whatnot to throw looks that we've never seen before. Clubhouse is straightforward. And we saw the Ying currently being picked, but the 6th pick is going to come through, and I believe Twitch was chosen, by Factor in their place. I was going to be excited if we saw Ying. You don't see much.
Yeah, Ying like really fell to the meta a few months ago. We, at least in USN stuff, we barely see her anymore. Very execute heavy op, which to be fair, like a lot of rounds on Clubhouse don't often end up going to the execute point anymore. So like basement's the one exception, and that was probably why the pick was there, to maybe use it. But yeah, It's a very much longer, drawn-out game right now on Clubhouse for most of the sites, I think with Basement being the main exception to that in a lot of cases.
So Basement being one of the first sites that Parallax actually won, they're coming back after losing it last time. Did they learn from their mistakes? I don't think so, because the same exact holes were exposed as we saw the first time around. But Rise Nation are starting to learn how to attack that now. Coming down the main stairs, Parallax Gaming, they have no deep. They're not even focusing on that area, and we see Track and Go down there every single time. The drone play is absolutely perfect from Rise Nation. They know exactly where the players are with all the intel that's been gathered, and they're not doing anything too special. They're just slaying, one by one, gunfights. There's no trades, no back and forths. It's Track, and then the rest of the boys is dominating. I want to see more from my man Fahood, especially on Legion. You see him with 1 kill and about 4 assists. Yeah, the 4 assists, they might have come from, hey, a goo mine or so. Be more of a presence on this map. The team needs you.
So we've got Frey working his way down. Once again, going to be able to get easy access to the bottom of the stairs. Let's go for a little bit of pre-fire to Memorial. If he had done it at the right time, good chance for do some damage to Bravo Dog, but it's going to be a bit off the mark, so nothing's going to connect. He'll just end up losing the few HP. As yeah, Bravo Dog now holds the crossfire. In the event, we see the Zofia re-peeking down the stairs. Not going to be happening, though. She's focused on, once again, trying to get the drone intel, which has been so quintessential for how Rise has been able to clean up these last 2 rounds.
Oh, yep, and that electric claw, I don't believe is going to be successful.
No, I got it.
Oh, okay, I got it. All right, so Bravo Dog able to utilize 1. He's not going to be able to grab that, so if Thatcher comes into play, that electric claw is going to be out of here. He's going to only have 2 of them, and there you have it. He's out of electric claw, so the denial isn't at his disposal, so that hatch is going to be opened up quite easily. Rise Nation are going to be able to just waltz on in the site if they're able to pick up this first kill. But with the goo mine currently slowing down the push towards blue, yeah, Bravo Dog is going to be able to find Factors. He's his first victim of the round.
Factor didn't back up far enough, I think, so there was an angle taken from the inside of the church where they were able to find that pick. I'm going to look for a few more here over the next few seconds. A good start from Parallax. However, Rise is moving in. The inside of Memorial can start the wrap over to Church. They've got a lot more work to do to get access to Church. This is one of the first times we're seeing Rise move into the site with maybe not the best timing in the world to play late round. Malfano going to be able to peek through a broken hole here as well and pop off 1 player. At the same time, Vandal is there a second later to trade that back and go down into a 3v4 now. Parallax still with the advantage. And time starting to get very, very low here for Rise. But England now finds the response, takes out Bravo Dog. Vandal going to be brought down incredibly low, however. Frey going to have to move in to assist his teammate. He does have 1 player behind the AC unit. The pre-fire is in the right position. England gets the credit for the kill, but Frey catches the run out from Fahood. And now leaves only Blarn in the fight.
All right, but the diffuser currently coming down by England. Currently being placed by England. Blarn, he was able to hear the audio cue, but there's not much he can do. Sitting there in the 1v3, he's going to be on mute without a nitro cell. So, utility is not in his favor, but that SMG-11 is going to clap Frey off the map. He's now finding himself in a 1v2. This Parallax Gaming has what it takes. The drone play, he's not able to, well, all right, yeah, he definitely knows somebody's behind that bar. But getting there is going to be a different story. He's not going to have the range with the scope provided to him by the SMG-11, yeah. And he's running low on ammo. So time is coming by, and yep, Blarn's able to pick up 1 kill, but it's not enough. This Vandal's able to shut down the clutch attempt. And once more, Rise Nation. It's 3 straight. They picked it up, man. They're on fire.
Yeah, unfortunately, at the end there, last player in the clutch kind of just grasping for straws at any possibility to clutch out the 1v2, but nice, stable play from Rise in the post plan ensures they don't make any mistakes there and close that at worst on a timer and at best just in a 1-for-1 trade situation, which is exactly how it goes. Rise now take the lead, as you have been mentioning, on a 3-round streak.
Yeah.
And now we'll look to make it 4 to end the half. We're going to go back to the upstairs sites 1 more time to end the half, as Parallax have just attempted basement twice in a row with no success being found after winning it originally at the beginning of the half. Back to Gym Bedroom. This is a site that they won in the past, but is also the only other site that they've won so far.
But it's one of the trickiest sites, and it's the hardest site to defend when it comes to hard breaches. Now that we have a Thermite and Habana in play, Rise Nation, they're going to be able to get through balcony over near hot tub. They're going to be able to blast straight through in the bathroom. So, if I'm on Parallax, the mirror play, okay, so Blarn on mirror is going to be the most important player on this roster. I'm pretty sure he's going to put one of those mirrors over in bathroom, and he's going to be able to defend from there. But will the utility come in play to be able to stop the hard breach? It's going to be extremely hard because you only have so many nitro cells. You only have so many impact nades on your side. The rest of his team, that hallway coming in from balcony is going to be a pain to watch. And I don't think Parallax has it in to win this site anymore. Rise Nation winning 3 rounds straight. They win this 4th round before we go into halftime. They're going to go on a heavily defender-sided portion of this map, and I feel like they can roll through with it. So Parallax, they need to stop now. They need to stop now. This is so important.
I think the only reason why Parallax might be able to swing out a 3rd round here is going to be that Rise, if they play it the same way they did before, is probably going to have a pretty heavy focus on attacking from that balcony that we always see the attackers use. Yeah. Now, if they don't have that many drones remaining from the initial spawn on the inside of the building watching for roamers downstairs, that's where a roamer could... Okay. That's where a roamer could once again find quite a bit of success, in my opinion, probably with some kind of a rat over by main stairs. Well, we have the mirror window here, which is going to make tricking much, much easier, but at the same time, I believe we just saw it get popped open, so it's no longer going to be as useful for the defending team. And on top of this, Afano, he's going to get dropped. I don't know if he's recoverable just yet. He'll still be in a safe position, as I think he was able to back way over by the tunnels. I don't even know if Rise realized they got him, to be completely honest, but if someone is going to go for him, it's going to be a few seconds.
All right, Malfano pretty much, he's not going to have much health to use whenever he gets into an engagement. And with the heart breach currently coming in from... oh no! Tracken was going in for the easy kill and got popped on the head. He got sent back to Xbox with that shot. That was such a clean headshot coming in on his end. But still, over here on balcony, Rise Nation, they've yet pushed into the site. And Tracken, he's going to pick up a kill, taking Malfano out the game as well. But still, there's a lot of time left. 1 minute and 30 seconds. Rise Nation, they can fight back.
That was actually just Malfano bleeding out, by the way. Because he finally...
Oh, that was it?
Yeah, look, even Frey's like, oh, wait, I killed you. See, I told you, he didn't actually know.
He had no idea.
So that was just the bleed out timer right there. So I guess Parallax just decided, yeah, it's not worth it. We'll just leave him there as bait. I guess that worked out. At least they get a 1-for-1, but let's make sure they can actually close out on the round now. Otherwise, they might have... been sitting back here hoping they might have had that extra player. 2 more kills go onto the board. 3 more kills, in fact, into the favor of Parallax. Now it's all on Turin. Again, another huge 1vx situation that's nigh impossible. Starts it out well, though. Puts his 2nd frag for the round up on the board. Takes out Factor. Plant, however, going to go down. They have him cut off. However, Thatcher seemed to have him dead to rights. Backs away a little bit too soon. So he'll still stay alive. At least for now. This is the problem.
He's in a pickle.
This is the choke point that he can't get past. Everywhere he goes, someone's going to be waiting for him. Claymore's down in the bathroom, too, and finally walks into Vandal, gives Rise their 4th round of the half, and closes out on that half at 4-2.
So, Rise Nation, they're feeling like the first 2 rounds were a warm-up. They've won 4 straight. Parallax hasn't had an answer, and the game's pretty much, they haven't been close. But great plays coming from both sides. It was pretty weird because whoever was on Legion, I believe it was Bravo Dog, he found himself in the hallway looking towards balcony. He was in a 1v1 fight. If he won that fight, he would have had a chance to flank and possibly get a 2 or 3K to help out his team. The fact that he lost that engagement when he was Legion, that's rough. There needed to be more emphasis going in the hallway because Parallax should have known that Rise, they're going to find their way through that balcony wall one way or another, especially with Bandit currently being banned. So, I expected more Legion mines, more cameras out there to pass out intel, a Yokai Jordan over there to stop them because IQ wasn't in play. Something. Parallax, they weren't trying to counter that engagement over from hallway coming from balcony. That was rough.
You can see our round breakdown once again here, folks. In case you weren't with us for the earlier rounds here, you could see things started out well for Parallax. In fact, very decisively winning those opening 2 rounds on both the bedroom and basement defenses. But following that, just didn't end up looking that great, ultimately, as Rise took the following 4 rounds without much of a response from Parallax throughout the course of it. So now we need to see if they can reignite themselves on the attacking side, where, to be fair, I think they have a little bit more room to get creative here. But we'll see if they're going to be able to bring anything else to the table against Rise, or if the ship has sailed, then Rise is going to be able to run the gauntlet right at the 7 now.
And I believe that this is one of the sites that Rise Nation are currently best on. Whenever we see a defender-sided site, we usually see them going over to CCTV or basement. Rise Nation, they like to throw a twist in that. They like to go ahead and pick bedroom and gym, and it works out for them.
I do like the bedroom choice, though, because they are probably aware, like, I mean, just looking at like the first and second round, that like Parallax is a team that could probably throw a few curveballs at them just because they're not that well known and there's not as much tape on them. And this is, this is a pretty big deal for Parallax. They're going to bring everything they got. So I think it's a good idea to pick Betterman Gym because there's a very limited number of ways to approach that site as an attacker. You kind of have to do a few things or risk, massive issues on execute.
Oh, the Electric Claw gets thrown and Kaid is going to run away knowing that Claw is going to go ahead and get dismantled by Thatcher's EMP. So that's going to be one Claw out the way. That's going to be tool that's used to stop Hard Breach and it's out the game. And Factor's on fire. He's going to go ahead and body turn, and England just got in the way. He said, hey, you're going to get body. Yeah. He's going to clap him.
It's a bit of an accident, a real accident at that time.
Did he get the refrag for Parallax?
Yeah, a trade's a trade, man.
Trade's a trade.
They'll take those. So that's going to bring us down into a 4v4. As unfortunately, England's going to end up being collateral to the first fight that the members of Rise took. Oh, look at this run out, though, from Factor.
He's going to get this.
He's got the diffuser down on the ground, too. That's another opportunity for a kill. It will finally fall to Bravo Dog. It took a second to prime up for that Zofia entry. Problem is, yes, he gets the trade, but the trade's too late, unfortunately. It's already down into a 3v2 now. Yes, they'll get the diffuser back. They can start pushing towards the site, but can you really attack this site with only 2 players standing and 3 on the other side?
Well, with Sophia and Thatcher, I feel like you definitely could. It's going to be all about just gunplay coming from Bravo Dog, and Blarn's going to have to step it up as well. Bravo Dog, he's a player that we know can go ahead and frag out for his life. So, on Sophia's the right operator, in my opinion. Bravo Dog currently being patient. We now have less than a minute on the clock. These players are going to be working together, utilizing a buddy system, but with that sound and the explosives going off, Rise Nation, they know exactly where they're coming from. And with Yokai in play, it's going to stall them even longer.
You can see the Yokai Matrix being set up here to try and immediately thwart any attempt from Parallax to make a push. Probably not going to be much hesitation on using the Yokais either. As you can imagine, that Acid is just sitting on those cameras waiting for an opportunity to present itself to take these guys out, and or at very minimum make it much more difficult than to find impact here. One's going to get spotted by a Castle player here. Frey will end up falling back further into gyms. He doesn't want to take direct contest on that. Acid, actually, I'll take it back. I thought he was stuck on cameras. He's actually sat on the main stairs watching one of the prime positions on this flank. So Acid's going to be able to take him out. One of the few players left alive here now for Parallax as Bravo Dog attempts to make something happen. Had a chance to get that kill in Bathroom, but couldn't find it. Ultimately, Frey finds the final frag. Rise will keep this train rolling.
That was unfortunate because Bravo Dog was in a clutchable situation when he was in Bedroom, but it was Blarn who got caught out. Once he went to stairs and Acid was able to bait him out. Acid bodied him, got the easy kill. Blarn found himself in whichever player was in Bedroom, he found himself in an unwinnable situation. So pretty unfortunate, but still, Rise Nation, they got 5 on it. 5 straight so far after losing the very 2 first rounds when Parallax Gaming were on defense. So here we are. We're going to go right to CCTV and Cash Room, and the Castle is currently going to be 6 picked to Doc. And with Castle going out the game, if anybody's at Ubisoft is currently watching this, we need a wave check Castle skin. I'm going to say it on stream.
This is like...
I need Castle to get a dope skin, guys. So if I can cosplay him and... Don't get me started. All right, back to the game.
He's using his platform for the important issues.
Exactly. We need a dope Castle skin, okay? So, here we are. On top is going to be Acid. It's going to be 5 and 3, but right underneath him, hey, the duo, Tracking and Factor, 14 kills total. You'll love to see it.
Quite a bit of fragging power that's been present in this matchup between those 2 players, and might just be a short ride here now for Rise. It's like you were been saying in some of the previous rounds, and I agree with it. Parallax, they've lost what we saw from them in those first 2 rounds, and there hasn't been much sign of them attempting to recover it here so far. But to be fair, it's only been 1 round on the attack, and it's a pretty one-dimensional site that they played onto when it comes to the strategies you can bring to the table for that site. So hopefully... Cash and CCTV gives a little bit more freedom to these guys, and they can bring something to the table that gets them back into the match.
And speaking of strategy, Parallax, they only attacked on one side of the map, coming in from CCTV. There was no pressure or presence over near Jacuzzi at all. Why do that? Why put yourself in basically a straight line for Rise Nation to hold sights and gun out whenever you step through the door? You make yourself predictable, and by making yourself predictable, you're not going to win against a team of this stature. So Rise Nation, 2 rounds away from closing out this map, and Parallax, unable to win any more rounds after they won their first 2. It's rough.
We've got Parallax starting to look for entry points into the second floor directly for the most part. Already starting to play around with the east balcony closer to the site itself. Track Stinger is going to go down for Turin to start working in from the garage, or excuse me, from the bedroom side as well. See, the Stinger hasn't gone all the way to the stairs yet, so he's going to go for a little bit of pre-fire there. But as you can tell, no silhouettes, so not going to be finding much here.
He is messing these walls up. Only if he can hit Rise Nation as hard as he's hitting these walls off these pre-fires. Parallax, we need an answer. You guys started off so hot, man. Don't tell me that you guys came to play in the first 2 rounds and then let Rise Nation run all over you like this. I like you guys. I know you guys can do better than this. I want to see it. Bring it. I told Blue before the game started, I expected this game to go down to the wire. And Parallax, I'm pretty upset with what I see, man. This is a really good roster made up of really good players. So, right now, minute and 30 seconds. Nobody's been taken off the board yet, but England he's lost half of his health so far here on Smoke.
We'll see if he's going to be able to still leverage that position with such low HP. He's got to be a little bit careful peeking when trying to throw out those toxic gas grenades or trying to do anything else aggressive here for the rest of the round now. But as you can see, Rise doing a pretty good job of delaying or trying to look for ways to actively punish the aggression from Parallax. 2 players are downstairs looking for a wraparound now onto the eventual push that they're trying to go for onto the balcony. They've got the wall open, by the way. Turin starts things out well, but England is there for a trade a second later. Brings us down into a 4v4. The majority of Rise has been self-contained onto the inside of the cache stairs, and now they're going to get aggressive. They move out, stop the plant attempt with Acid's pickup against Fahud. However, Acid also goes down a moment later. Blarn with a repeek into those stairs finds England, and now Mofano can make another plant attempt. Factor Turin will go 1 for 1. Now everything is on Frey 1v2, who stayed very quiet up until this point. The wrap back out. There is a pixel-perfect dangle as they actually trade each other. But ultimately, the planter, of course, is still alive. So Turin will win the round just by being the last man standing.
Parallax, I'm just going to hype you guys up every single round from now on, okay? Give you that little pep talk. You guys went ahead and dominated round number 8. But round number 9, you're going to have to really bring that heat. Do not let Rise Nation go on match point. So starting off on CCTV and Cash once again, hey, you learned how to win it before, especially with Barn making huge plays coming in from Garage. I need that type of presence once again. Bring pressure in from Garage and pretty much box Rise Nation into a corner. Make them fight from Cash. Make them bunch up at the top of Cash stairs. That was your recipe for success. The objective plant was pretty risky because when it was happening, there were so many players left alive. But the fact that Barn was able to wrap around so fast and pick up that 2K, that helped Parallax Gaming be able to put down the objective and get those kills in order to win the game. That was good.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs
All right, guys,
as
the
they
first
can.
bump in the road for Rise Nation. It's time to see if they can recover from that and correct their issues. Similarly to how Rise was getting a lot of control very early on in the round on their own attacking side, Parallax did the same thing in that last round. Now I want to see if they're going to be able to pull something like that off again. To be fair, denial is not really something that the defenders can bring to the table so easily this time. They do have to bring either a mute, or a Kaid in order to accomplish that goal. Bandit has been banned out, something you don't see happen too much.
I want to see the same thing. So my biggest complaint about Parallax Gaming was that they were tunnel vision in regards to their strategy when they all pushed towards CCTV to go into gym and bedroom. But that time around, we saw them coming in from the west balcony looking into CCTV. We saw their presence on balcony coming in from the opposite end of CCTV over on the north side. Also presence coming in from Garage. If you can have three line of attack. I'm starting to lose words right now. Sorry about that. Hey, they were able to pretty much surround Rise Nation and come out with that win. Yeah, great analysis. I'm pretty much tongue-tied right now. I apologize about that. But Parallax, come strong. Be versatile when it comes to your strategy, and you guys are going to look good in this matchup.
So we've got the members of Parallax out onto the board. Their players going to be working their way onto balcony. Already trying to pop open the door. We've seen the Thatcher grenades, 2 of them in fact being used here just for extra security. We're going to go down, and that'll guarantee they pop open the balcony very early on into the round, and once again, have good control, or potential, I should say, for control at this point. Well, still 2 minutes left on the clock.
All right, shooting out a drone. We see Tracking currently in bathroom right now, waiting for somebody to peek by so he can pick up the first kill. So far, nothing has happened. No engagement as well. With drone play coming in towards construction, a mute jammer is going to go ahead and stop that drone from advancing momentarily. But the patience on Tracking is pretty strong. He has to know something. Let's see if his instinct is going to currently pay off. I'm not sure if he's going to get into an engagement in that area, though.
Oh, nice position from Factor here. Should be able to deny the secondary angle for being opened up. Alfano, of course, looks for a response to this, but he's far too late. Also, not going to be able to stop enough pebbles from actually stop the wall from being opened up. Just severely limits the angle. As you can see there, we could get a little bit of a preview of it from the Yokai POV.
All right. Getting onto his eastern subroof. Currently lining up with his ACOG, Abana. She's looking to pick up the first kill of the game. Bravo Dog, the playmaker of this roster. Hasn't been loud at all this game. He's been pretty quiet. But slowly advancing into construction. A little bit of track singers are currently going to come out. That's going to stop any type of run out on Rise Nation's end. So now the issue is currently being pressed as Vandal currently gets stunned. But ripping off the tape of the C4, he's going to toss it. He's not going to connect. But Fahoud currently planting the diffuser to Yokai drone. Is not going to hit him. It's going to hit his teammate. Yeah, there it is. The Yokai denial has currently been hit. So Fahoud has been called out, and the kill has been made. It's Frey. It's going to take care of Blarn. Make that 2 straight kills for Tracken. It's going to be a 4v3.
Frey getting away with murder. England, in the meanwhile, able to pick up another kill here as well, and that gives freedom to England to now swing wide. Stop the planter, leaving only Malfado in the fight, and not for very long. Yeah. Vandal with that Vector knocks him out. Rise pick up another round and sit only 1 away at this point from closing out the match.
Pretty much a heat check coming through, and great mirror play coming in from Vandal, and great fragging coming in from Track. And we saw him pretty much patiently waiting over here in bathroom. Once he was able to rotate and come up on the flank, he was able to get 2 straight kills to help out Rise Nation. Now Rise Nation, they're going to be on map point. That's going to be it. For the best of 1, Parallax Gaming, they're going to have to be perfect from this point forward. No more mistakes. What are you going to do? England is going to be downing Pulse, so the intel that's going to be gathered from him is going to be invaluable. And getting rid of him is going to be a pain. With no IQ in play, they're not going to be able to hunt him down. So he can be the playmaker this round to close out the map for Rise. I want to see it. Rise Nation, this is your chance. They've been struggling so far in USN. They've been losing week in and week out. This time, they caught a second breath of wind, and, hey, they've been fragging out. Beating 7th Space to get here, and they're going to be Parallax Gaming to move into the finals. See if they can get to land.
All right, guys. Well, going into what could potentially be our final round here now. It's going to be time to see if Rise can pull out the defense one final time here.
Poor Fahoud. 7 assists, only 1 kill. My man can't finish.
I mean, at least he didn't do double 7.
That like we saw last time, right?
We don't need secret agent stats. They're already agents. Not for that agency.
10 seconds to insertion.
But Fahoud is a player that we saw pick things up late last time Parallax Gaming were here on the big stage. So see if we can do it this time around. They're gonna have to win 3 rounds straight in order to take it to overtime, and they're gonna have to win 2 rounds after that. It's going to be a lot of uphill climbing in order to reach that point. It's not going to be easy.
All right, guys. Well, let's see here. Once again, England going to be their heads-up player for this round, considering he switched over to the Pulse, an operator we've seen really, come into prevalence over the last couple of months, I think, especially on maps like Consulate, where he can have vision to all 3 floors of a given map. And this is a similar one where he can get quite a bit of vision on these upstairs sites and get a much better picture for how the execute's going. Positionally, the Pulse does have to be a little bit more careful here, since I don't believe he can go all the way down to the basement and look for players. He does have to kind of play in an open area like the stage and bar, which I mean, you can kind of just see from how open the room is the risks that'll come with that. And as such, he has to watch his back a little bit more than some of the other maps.
All right. Currently looking for a heartbeat. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and get 2 of them. And with the ping going out, England, he knows exactly where the attack is coming from. But Parallax, they have no clue what's currently happening. Rise Station are 1 step ahead. This intel, and now under 2 minutes.
Oh, cursing, Thermite.
Thermite has a potty mouth. Potty mouth, yeah. We see the outline. I wonder if that's going to be Frey. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's going to be Factor. By sitting behind this mirror, he's going to be able to see who's going to come out from this west side window. Oh, yeah, Factor's going to peek it, and Blarn is going to body him. That's going to be the first kill.
So a good find here from Parallax. Definitely catching on to the fact that Rise might be trying to get a little bit more aggressive here. As, to be honest, Rise has kind of had to battle out of a box against these executes, and has come out on top of it more times than not so far, but I think they're wanting to take a little bit more control over their defensive half here and are trying to get it more aggressive, but that may not be the play. Parallax seems very much ready to stop that. And maybe,
Nice.
Acid, never mind, is going to be able to walk right up on Bravo Dog, takes him down. Players at Windows try to look for an immediate response, but no angle is being presented. Blarn, however, inside of the site. And even better, well, no, is Acid, yep, he should be able to stop this. They did have to restart the plant timer there after they downed one of their players. And now the run, and they don't even need the Yokai drone. Whoa! Vandal! The Ida! The Ida gets the kill. Malfado will be there for the trade. It brings us down into a 2v2. Frey is not up right now and is likely unrecoverable. So only 2 players standing for Rise.
He John Wicked him. That fight shouldn't have been won. But Ass is going to go ahead, body for Malfano is taking control of, and Rise Nation, they're going to send Parallax back over to console with that dominant win. That was impressive. Wow. I want to see that replay. Was he missing Gridlock when she was switching over to the Super Shotty? Was he reloading?
I think it's a possibility that Gridlock just was like not aware of the situation that was unfolding. Kind of dumbstruck by it.
There's no way. There you have it. Tracking 10-6. Everybody on Rise Nation showed out in a big way. Rise Nation are going to be your first victors tonight on USN, winning their first semifinals game, going to the finals. This dominant win, 7-2. A 7-3 over Parallax Gaming.
Yeah, so they'll be our first team to earn a slot in the in the match next week, which will be the definitive match to decide who's going to go through for the East Coast, with our West Coast match being played on Tuesday. Big congratulations to Rise. They are done for this week in USN, and we'll see them next Thursday to play as well. Still one more slot to be decided, though, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But what a match. Some very interesting rounds that they played out.
Yeah.
Very execute heavy, and the kills that we were seeing at minimum there. It really came down to the wire a lot of the time, and like teams like just no roaming presence. Like roamers just like really weren't a thing in this matchup at all for me. Maybe in the first 2 rounds from Parallax's side, where they actually had a bit of a round-defining moment from one of their roamers. But after those first 2 rounds, for pretty much the entirety of the rest of the game, roaming presence was at a minimum in terms of how much effect it had on these rounds, and almost everything was decided on the execute itself, or in that last minute or so of the round.
Tonight I read a story about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and Parallax Gaming. They were the authors, man. They started off the game extremely high, starting off 2-0, and it seemed like whenever it came to gunplay, like they dominated Rise Nation. You see Acid, he's in a 1vx situation, unable to win, and Parallax, from the beginning, I was saying to myself, okay, I might have to chug another can. This team, they're going to show out, they're going to get the upset, they're going to win. After those first 2 wins, Rise Nation, they stopped, they took a breath and said, hey, this isn't us, we're better than this. Let's pick things up. They went ahead and they started to win every single round on attack after that. Switched over to defense. Parallax, they fought back hard, but every time the round came to an end, it looked like a scenario where it was like, okay, it was a 1v3, 2v4. Rise Nation, they're undoubtedly going to win. And just strategy prevailed. Experience paid off for Rise Nation as well, because Parallax, when it came to the strategy attacking certain sites, such as Gym and Bedroom, it was a head scratcher. Why are you attacking just on one side of the map and at the other? Attack on all sides. Whenever you did that, you were successful, which was around after that when they went to CCTV, but we needed to see more of that earlier on in the prior rounds.
And ultimately, the lack of changing up the game plan did come back to bite Parallax here, as Rise was able to figure out how to best them and take control of the round after those initial 2, and really just run the entire gauntlet. I think that was 7 straight, in fact, from Rise. They're very close to it. Now, I think we had 1 more from Parallax in the process of it, but either way, very impressive results from Rise to be able to take such dominant control after a pretty poor start, if we're being honest with ourselves.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree, and I said it before the round started that England is going to be the MVP of the last round. He can go ahead and win the game from Rise Nation, and he did exactly that. Not by kills, but by call-outs. Because you said roam presence wasn't heavy in this matchup, Parallax didn't even bother to go ahead and clear out roamers, which left England all alone on an island with his cardiac sensor. He was able to get all the pings in a row to let his teammates know exactly where the plant was being planted, and with the Yokai there to assist him, Parallax had no answer. There was no way they were going to win over there in Gym. Rise Nation pulled out.
Few aggressive plays from Rise. They started to get a bit more comfortable towards the end of the match here too, and you can see in this final round as they had the shutdown, primarily again Intel, the name of the game for Rise being able to do that. You talked about how England was doing a great job of this on Pulse Wall.
Yeah.
The drones also gave them quite a bit of intel on Echo there to allow them to get an easy closeout in those types of situations where, as you could see, Parallax was struggling to get the plant onto the ground and ultimately struggling to close out the round. Really great utility usage by Rise, and one of the few factors that allowed for them to turn that around so decisively and take it 7-3 after everything was said and done.
All right, so we actually have an interview coming up. I hope it's with my man England. So let's see who it is. It's always a surprise. what are you wearing, man? Is that how you game?
Yeah, it's a game right here.
You bodied them looking like that, Parallax. I'm ashamed of you. So, England, congratulations. You guys battled it out through hell week in and week out here in USN. Be honest, first 2 rounds, did you guys think you were in trouble?
Not really, because like we were just like we started off like as usual super slow.
Yeah.
Like I got a team kill.
2 of them, I think. No, you got one and Factor got one, yeah.
Factor one, yeah. I don't know. Like, we had a sloppy execution and a dirt push. We had like freebies there. We kind of just said we went down 2-0, and I just said, yo, let's run it back, and we ran it back 4-2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been down before. We never really like doubted like, oh, we're out of the game 2 rounds. Like we knew those 2 rounds, like that was us kind of just not like playing up to the best of our ability. So
right. So
no one was really.
Oh, sorry. You
Oh, no,
paused.
you're
I thought
good,
you were
you're
dead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you, beautiful. So with the last question out there, man. Yeah, your heady's killing me, by the way. I love it. This was an interesting ban phase when it came to operators. Okay, Bandit being taken out the game, and you're just left with Kaid. We don't see that much. What were your initial thoughts when that happened?
I was happy. I was pumped. I mean, that makes the attack, when you start on the attack and the other team bans Bandit, it's like the whole attack is simpler. So even though they had Echo and we weren't running IQ, we knew like the game started. And I was like, yo, let's just be quick. We can't stall out. They don't have IQ. I mean, Bandit's banned and they have Echo and we don't have IQ. So if we just get in there quick, like we can just push the last guy at Echo. That's kind of what we tried to do there. Like the whole match, kind of like just go quick, get map control quick, and just not leave them a lot of time to actually stop the plan.
Yeah, you guys.
Bandit ban. EG did it to us last season. But we had no answer for it on D, but we kind of adapted our D a little more after that. It was a long time ago, but yeah, Bandit ban not too good on that map.
Well, it shows that you guys definitely learned from it. Listen, the nation rose up. I'm happy for you guys. You made it. One more game to go before I see you again at USN. Make me proud, England. I'm happy for your success. And we'll see you next time on USN, man. You take it easy, all right?
All right, take it easy, man.
All right. So yeah, Hitty, man. That's it.
Just full chill. Just
relax.
I can't imitate it with a button up, but just full relaxation mode right there.
Right.
Overall, a very fun match though, and a good interview. Some explanations as well onto the Bandit ban and why I think for both sides the attacks were going a lot quicker than you might normally be expecting, because a lot of those sides rely on Bandit to delay to post or to under a minute and cause a bit of delay for the attacking team and really stress them out. But I mean, attackers, as you can see, were getting really easy access for the entire majority of that map and made things pretty easy.
Yeah.
All right, guys, well, time to discuss our MVPs for this matchup. Billy, why don't you go first? Tell us who your main pick was for
My main pick was the new guy to Rise Nation, Tracking. You saw him as Frey. Why? He's a beast. He started slaying out. You saw him pick up on flanks, coming around rotations, getting 2Ks, opening things up for Rise Nation, getting the first kills. He was the man for me this matchup, and with 10 kills, I believe he was on top. Yeah, that's my MVP.
90% cost as well. Very impressive stats. Mine went a little bit of a different direction with this one. England was my MVP, actually, specifically for his second half performance. I think he was really good at making the heads-up plays that were necessary for his team to close out on rounds, especially when it came to the pulse play. Not as impressive in the stats department from an individual point of view, but like I said, in the second half, he was second to none when it came to closing out those rounds for his team.
Yeah, so there you have it, the MVPs for both Blue and Nine. Let's take a look at the overall stats. Fahood. Moses are red. Siege is good. I want to see more from Fahood. From 1-8, that sucks. That was a big blow. Especially with him on Legion, he wasn't that much of a factor against Rise Nation. I know this team can do better. Be better. I want to see you guys again next time. Blowing on top 9-9, but like I said before, stats don't matter if you lose. But on Rise Nation, nobody really had an issue. And take a look at the total kills for both teams. pretty large margin.
You can see, interestingly enough, though, Parallax did a lot better in opening kills, like by a factor of 2 in this situation.
Yeah.
Just really struggled to get on-site, get plants going on their attacking side, and I think more than anything, from a strategy perspective, just failed to innovate at the end of the day. The fragging power is not missing. Now it's just about improving the strategical side of it.
I agree, man.
And they'll have a chance to do that. That's the thing, right? They still got Stage 3 to come up. Obviously, it's a little bit of time off, about 2 months away from this point in time, but they can make improvements in them, and hopefully we do see them once again make another run at this. They still have a lot of potential, and we don't want to see that wasted. That is going to close out this match, though, ladies and gentlemen. Do stick with us. We have one more match still to come. It's going to be coming up right after this.
It's game fuel. It's domination in a can. Tastes like loser tears.
New Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
Welcome back once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the Rainbow Six U.S. Nationals. We've reached the end of another stage, and now it is time to see which of the 4 qualified teams into each respective region's qualifier is going to make it through to LAN. However, before we get too deep into this final matchup, however, I do want to remind you guys that Stage 3 is quickly approaching, and you can find all the information you need, and now you can sign up for the Stage 3 Cups. They are now open. The first week has been opened up, folks, so go ahead over to the link that was just down below me there at play.r6usnationals.com to find all the information you need on how to start a team, join a team, or just follow the league.
Yes, make sure you go ahead and sign up. I get asked all the time, Veli, what's your recommendation for me to go pro? What's the first step? Playing these tournaments, man. You get to match up against the best of the best, people shooting for the top. And it's a good way to gauge your, level of skill in competition, and you get better by playing better people. USN, everybody's allowed. Professional teams, amateurs, right there in the middle. Make sure you guys sign up. I want to see that bracket full.
All right, guys, so we've got a great matchup here to end the night for you. It's going to be Space Station going up against Dark Zero. The winner will meet Rise in their next matchup next week, where we'll finally upgrade to best of 3s as well to decide who's going to LAN. First up is Space Station. You guys should know them by this point. Thinking Nade, Rampy, Chalo, Bosco, and their 5th player, most recently added, Fultz, stepping up to the plate. Also, of course, just a big congratulations to them on making it to Raleigh as the host country invite.
Yeah, representing America over at the Raleigh USA Major. Make sure you guys go ahead and tune in for that. But the other team, let's go ahead and take a look at them. It's Dark Zero. We've seen these two teams face off against each other. And on Dark Zero, we're not going to go right back. Wait, there it is. Dark Zero. We're going to have Mint, BC, Hot and Cold, Nix, and my man, Hyper. Hyper's a factor on this roster. He was the latest pickup. They have gotten so much better ever since we saw them last time on USA.
Absolutely the case. Dark Zero's been making a lot of improvements, probably with the Major in mind coming up relatively soon. And you can bet they're not going to hold any punches against a team like Space Station Gaming. It should be quite the match. It's going to be a lot of fun indeed. We'll get the map vetoes up on screen in a second here as well to see where exactly this matchup is going to be headed towards. Quite a few common maps between these two teams they like to play into.
Yes.
So I've already got a good inkling as to where we could be headed. And we'll have to see if I'm right about that when we do end up getting that pick on the table between these two teams.
All right, so let's see. Last time these two teams played each other, it was on Border, where Dark Zero came out on top. We saw Hyper and Fultz pretty much struggling in their new roles, and this time around, they're going to be playing, and it's going to be, this is the rematch. This is it. SSG, DZ, Space Station are going to look to redeem their loss against Dark Zero. I remember this match. This is where Fultz had a really rough game, and ever since then, Fultz has been one of the most dangerous players on this roster. This is going to be an entirely different matchup than what we saw last time.
Not to be fair, though, Fultz has had a bumpier most recent few matches. Their last Pro League match, along with the best of 3 they played versus TSM, wasn't able to shine, I think, as well as the rest of his team was hoping. It's actually was Thinking Nade was the player that most notably stepped up in those matches and was able to kind of make up for the impact. Zero has played, oh my goodness.
Jesus.
Wow. They have really had to grind their way through this, haven't they?
Because we have to remember, Dark Zero, they lost against Parallax Gaming. They lost against a lot of other teams in order to make it to this point. It was almost as if every qualifier, Dark Zero was there. And they lost in probably like the second round, which was pretty much a shock. And once they made it to this step, Dark Zero, I love their content team. They put out a clip of when they made it here. And Hyper gets up and he goes, "We finally made it in USN." Like, USN has been trouble for him, man. This is going to be funny. But Space Station Gaming has lost 4-7 to DZ on Border. Yeah, that was a matchup. They lost 4-7 on Border the last time these two teams faced off. But let's go ahead and see what you guys think with the community vote. And it's going to go
pretty much as you'd expect, pretty close.
Dark Zero.
Yeah, Dark Zero taking the slight edge there at 20% in their direction. So what if they're thinking that they're going to be able to take this one? It is a map that both these teams have a good amount of experience on, and in my opinion, at least a good amount of confidence. So it should be a very competitive match to close out the night. We're getting into it now, ladies and gentlemen. So let's jump right into the action. Dark Zero up against Space Station with the winner going forward to face off against Rise next Thursday in a best-of-3 to qualify for LAN.
We are on operator ban phase. Let's see what's going to happen. GG's. Good luck. Have funs all around. Friendly banter so far. Nothing bad. And Nomad's going to be the first one banned. So the run presence is going to be slowed down momentarily with those air jabs. Going to knock you right on your butt. If you go ahead and you enter the wrong doorway or hallway. Buck is also banned. He's vital when it comes to workshop presence. Whenever you're picking the site, Armory and Archive, sorry about that. Buck comes in from below, and with the skeleton keys, he's able to shoot his way up and knock out people that are holding back, trying to stop the attack. Mira's going to get taken off the board as well. The last one, what are we going to see, an Echo ban? Yep, Echo, taking out the game.
Finally an Echo ban.
Yeah, this was pretty much expected, though. All right, so this is it. Ban phase over with. We're going to jump right into the game. Let's see the first set of operators between these two teams.
Yeah, for the most part, bans are pretty self-explanatory when it comes to the map. I think some people might be a little bit surprised by the Buck ban, but if you've watched border matches before, you shouldn't, because Buck is amazingly prevalent on this matchup, especially for all of the downstairs sites once you get past the first round or so, and he can become incredibly vital to winning or losing a round. So knocking him out is probably going to save the defense quite a few headaches throughout the course of a match by having him banned out.
What's also interesting, I've sometimes seen Jaeger in his place underneath where he's able to shoot up with a secondary shotgun and he's able to pick up those footsteps from underneath. So, just a little tip for those of you in the chat. And jumping right into the game, Mint on IQ to start things off. I want to see him go off. And I wasn't able to see the rest of the picks so far. Hyper's going to be on Twitch. Hyper came from Rise Nation as the best player in NA when it came to fragging. He had the best statistics in the entire region. The fact that he's going to be on Twitch is going to be scary. The best rate of fire in the lobby right now, one of the most deadliest weapons. If he's able to get loose in a gunfight, he's going to win the majority of them. His aim is incredible, and he doesn't lose a lot of them. He's really found his way on this team.
Is, of course, still looking to push that team forward to greater heights. Maybe a land slot at USN is something that they're going to be able to try and gain here over the next week or so now. We'll see. We've got Dark Zero out on the board for the first time. Their attack has now begun, so let's see how they are going to approach the upstairs sites. More than likely in that predictable fashion of trying to take West Balcony and kind of work their way in from there. A little bit of pressure to start the round off in the south and take control of CCTV, and then slowly work their way in from there.
The difference in play style between these two teams are going to be fun to watch. Space Station Gaming, you lean on the aggression from Rampy and Foltz a lot. Thinkinade has been fragging out of his mind as well. Hyper already is going to get the headshot on Rampy, taking out one of the best slayers on the entire opposing roster. So Jaeger's going to be out the game. It's going to be good. Great way to start the game, and we're not even under 2 minutes yet. Dark Zero, they're going to strike first and fast so far here in round number 1.
It's Rampy getting caught trying to play a little bit too aggressively there, and ultimately basically pre-fired by Hyper. And a very nice find in order to take him out. Now it's time to see how DZ are going to try and build on this a little bit.
Wow, that was
that was super far.
Wow.
I saw the punch hole. I didn't realize it was that far back, though. That's crazy.
Hyper, you're a god. You're a Greek god.
I was on Repel, I'm pretty sure, too, so he was probably pretty on the nose when he got that kill. Nicely done by Hyper.
I don't know if that was pre-fire or he just knew exactly what he was doing. Either way, he's able to get a clean headshot to take Rampy out the game. And now, roaming into CCTV is going to be Nyx, clearing the area out. He's going to go ahead and try to advance a little bit more. Not sure what he's currently doing. It's pretty interesting to watch. But IQ, she's looking for any vault cams that boss scoped throughout.
Just checking, I think, our Ash player trying to check some of the more typical cam spots.
Yeah, so that's what she was doing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I believe, anyway, trying to make sure that none of that is going to be found out. So, with the rest of DZ now in position, and again, a 5v4. There, as you might expect, there we go, there's the camera.
Nice.
Get rid of that thing, get it out of here. Hyper's going to make quick work of dealing with that, and in the meantime, that was actually just put down, I believe, too, so Nyx is going to be able to move in and be able to knock that out, gives them a little bit more capability to play with this wall as they pop it open.
Attackers have located a
Now bring
bomb.
things down into a 5v4 situation.
All right, now Nick's currently moving in. He's able to rappel right up to get on the balcony. Here's some gunfire coming in from Armory, currently. Unable to connect so far. Behind Code, he's able to peek out an Evil Eye, and with the EMP going out, the Evil Eye is going to be right on out of here. As Behind Code is going to dispose of it. But Mint currently being patient. Dark Zero, they're able to locate where the A-bomb is. They knew where it was. See a player currently prone in Armory, and Behind Code, he's going to get a double kill. Thinking Aiden Faults are going to fall victim as the diffuser is currently going down.
Uh-oh.
Make that 3 straight for Dark Zero as Bosco answers back with a C4 of his own. He's going to find himself in a 1v4 scenario. Without a nitro cell, he's able to shoot from below and get the headshot, stopping Nyx. But Mint, he's going to go ahead and stop the clutch attempt, getting the kill by dropping down the hatch. And there you have it, Dark Zero. They're going to go ahead and win this round.
Good attempt from the main man Bosco. Unfortunately, he either does not hear or does not notice the drop down from Mint at the end and is unable to close out the duel that probably would have won him the round ultimately after he picked up that second diffused denial.
That was great. That was great. All right, so coming into the second round, let's take a look at the operators currently chosen. Bosco is going to be on Mozzie. And Faults on Smoke. We've seen this before. But Rampy, second time being on Jaeger. Let's see if he gets more than 30 seconds of gameplay this time around.
That'll be the question as to whether he can actually survive the opening play or not. So unfortunately, he got deleted quite swiftly from the server after trying to take a duel against the repelling Twitch at the beginning of round number 1. Round 2 will hopefully fare a little bit differently for him and the rest of his team. As you might expect, they'll be trying the same site again. So Upstairs is the name of the game plan here for SSG at this point as they try to take control of Armory.
And Bosco utilizing these pests downstairs, and hopefully he's able to catch a drone or two, or just drone entry denial, so to say. If you get that icon on your screen, you're going to back on up and not risk getting that valuable drone, 1 of 2 taken. That's an amazing player. He's actually a 6 Invitational winner. I don't know if you knew that a few years ago. And he's been pretty much a prevalent name in the scene. They call him Bosco for a reason. He's known for big clutches. As you saw in the tip last round, and the nitro cell in hand, and also the great operator that he's currently donning at the moment. Let's see if he can go ahead and muscle one in for his team.
So speaking of his team, got the rest of Space Station set up once again on the inside of the site, waiting for the play to work its way in. We do have the members of DZ working their way up on the balcony right now, so it's going to be that same game plan. Slowly take control, Hyper. Obviously going to be a little timid right here, considering what happened in the last round, but should be all good to move in over towards the east stairs. Take some control here and start to kind of swing their way over towards the site. In it's almost office-focused direction here. We didn't actually see a whole lot of play at that one wall over on the Armory side that a lot of teams use as their primary execution point. It was a little bit more focused on the backside this time around.
Hyper running past Bull is pretty much dodging like he's Neo in the Matrix so far. Barely dodging a headshot or body shot or two. He's going to run out unscathed. He's able to get a breaching charge off to open up a wall to get in the office. With the Twitch drone currently in play, he's going to scope out the opposition, see what their strategy currently is, and seeing if he can find an Evil Eye placed by Shala and his Maestro in the meantime. Hanko currently cleaning out CCTV, and now that all their bases are cleared, they're going to try to find a way into the site, slowly but surely.
They keep running, but active denial coming in here from Thinking Nade, trying to trick over towards the
oh no,
or towards the wall, and also
Bosco, aim lower. Aim lower.
He doesn't want to overpeak though. He's being smart about this because he knows that, yeah, Mint is sitting right back here waiting for an opportunity. The problem is he's also got other teammates that are now being lost as a result of his passiveness, but still ultimately made the right play. Mint was basically hard trained on his angle. If Bosco peaked, he would have certainly been a dead man. At best, would have only gone 1 for 1.
Armory wall currently opened up. You see EMP go down. Now this is where Dark Zero are going to look to go in for the kill. The stun grenade currently going through. Not sure if it's effective, but he's going to use this time to go ahead and knock down this door that's been currently barricaded. A little pre-fire coming in from Space Station Gaming. They're still not able to connect and pick up a kill. Even though Nyx currently lost a quarter health so far, Hyper is going to basically... Oh, he's flirting with danger right now. He's at a little bit of health, just a pinch. But with that F2, he's looking to swing this gunfight in his favor. But on Ash, we're waiting for a big play to currently come from Nyx.
30 seconds left here. Needs to happen soon. Dark Zero not finding that right to initiate as much as they were in the last round, even though they do have man advantage. In comes just a raw walk-in from Nyx now. He's got to try and take small off his control, but players over towards Archives are still going to cause problems. Thankfully, they're able to trade their way to a relative win here in a 2v2 traded situation where DZ still had the man advantage. They got to the site, and that's what matters. Chala is trying to turn his team's luck around, but he can't find anyone. Had initial sight onto a player before he went into small office, but has now lost vision onto him. Bosco can't find him so easily either. Might have to hop into small office, but that might be certain death, and there you go. BC takes him out. Chala's there for the trade a second later, leaving only one defender alive now, and just Chala against the two still standing from the attacking side. They've been able to fall outside onto the outer balconies. There is not really a way that Chala's going to be able to take an easy angle onto this, especially with the position that Mint's taken. There you go. One single bullet into the leg of Chala ends the round, and Dark Zero pick up number 2.
That was such a beautiful angle, and by playing it safe, Mint was able to go ahead and wrap up this final kill with a single shot. Space Station Gaming are going to fall early, 0-2 so far to Dark Zero. Pretty much the same way the first matchup happened as Dark Zero, they came off pretty hot. We're going to have to go ahead and give the credit to Nyx and the rest of the teammates working together. This isn't just individual play coming in. This is pure teamwork. BC on Thatcher, we've seen him dispose of many of Chala's Evil Eyes, where the Evil Eyes haven't been a factor at all. So Chala, even though he did get, I believe it was a 2K last round, we're going to need to see more presence from Space Station Gaming's utility in this round. Because Dark Zero, they've been able to dispose of it quite easily. Valkyrie, Evil Eyes, Dark Zero always seems to have an answer.
Defenders protect
An answer they've had for at least 2 rounds now. They're going to need to alter things slightly, though, as Space Station will change up the site this time. Head down to Ventilation instead, after not having much luck with trying to defend, even in late round situations where they seem to have relative control, the Archives upstairs. So hopefully the change of site fares better for SSG. At minimum, should give their players a bit more freedom to roam around the map. Not necessarily going to lock them down into a few positions, but it's not that much different than what they played on the previous site, so that hopefully won't be the saving grace, the saving plan for SSG going into this round now.
It's really impressive how fast Hyper has pretty much learned to play with this roster. So when he first joined Dark Zero, they went through growing pains. You know, they weren't looking the same, they were struggling, they weren't winning rounds that they usually would win. And Hyper didn't do as well as he usually did, being the fragger that he is. Now, he looks like a natural in his position. He's more comfortable, he's fragging out, he's his own person now, and he's tracked on his new identity, being more methodical with Dark Zero and their current strategies. Playing together in the team house has definitely helped him out, and by building this type of chemistry between each other, it's starting to show with the way they approach these gunfights in this as a team.
Oh, we can already see Dark Zero popping open jail. Just start their push to the inside. Oh, Mint right on top of the silhouette of one of those players. Doesn't take the shot, though. Not going to be able to connect anything from it either. I'm not really sure if that one. We've got the rest of DZ already starting to drone through the entirety of the first floor here. There is probably going to be some attempts to take second floor control towards Archives 2, or at least normally on an attack, or excuse me, against this site. There is an attempt like that, but it's not looking like we're seeing much of it at this point from DZ, so they might be taking a bit more of a direct approach to this one in hopes of getting control, but that's going to cause problems when they execute. As now Space Station's players upstairs in Armory Archives could still harass after they try to take this control. But let's wait and see how DZ are going to approach this.
God. Okay, kill hole. We see the X-ray. Is Nick's going to be able to connect? No, he's not going to know that there's going to be a player there. So he's going to go ahead and back on up. Shooting the drone. Space Station, they're trying to deny any type of intel drones that Dark Zero are trying to throw out there. Dark Zero, one of the best teams when it comes to droning, by the way. Very methodical in regards to that. And Hyper opening up a few doors right now, shooting down a barricader too. Dark Zero, they're starting to get even closer. A little bit more pre-fire. Space Station Gaming, they're holding tight. No one has fallen just yet. So, minute, 10 seconds, and that Texan Dynamite, exothermic charge, currently coming into play. Line of sight has been open over on the bomb site.
First line of sight. Still not being given much, though, from the SSG side of things. They don't have a great amount of intel on how to play into it. Rampy is going to strike first, though. Takes out Hot and Cold, drops the diffuser in the process. It will be recovered relatively quickly due to the very tight angle that Rampy had in that situation. But still, now they know to be wary of that, and ultimately they're just gonna go a man down while getting a wall open, yeah, but they don't have much else to show for that just yet. Only 35 seconds left. It's a bit questionable what DZ are doing right now. You have to really question what the kind of grand plan is.
Is pretty much an unorthodox attack so far, and Chala is going to pick up the second kill for SSG. Nyx is taking out the game, which is the Ash player, and Hyper is going to join him as well, leaving Mint on IQ and BC is Thatcher in the gunfight. BC is going to come out on top, taking out the dangerous Fragger, which is going to be Rampy. With 10 seconds left to go, we hear the Ghoul Mine currently going off, and Mint moving so close to the site. He's looking for a kill, and he's going to land it. Thinking Nade and Foltz, they're going to get the last 2 kills, and Space Station finally wins a round.
Good passive play from Space Station. They didn't really have to do anything hyper-aggressive, just use their utility, especially on Legion, in order to play for intel and catch Dark Zero when they were executing and absolutely thrash them whenever they actually got close to anything important. Really good stuff from Space Station. Pretty much a perfect adjustment for what we needed to see from them. Now the problem is, okay, now they're going back to Armory Archives, though, and that's where they had troubles before, so we'll have to see if they have a better plan now for dealing with DZ's own aggression.
I like the strategy that they had, but I feel like at the end of the day, Dark Zero, once the player dropped, they were spread too thin, so the refrags weren't happening. Once Chala and Rampy got a kill, especially from second floor, that opened things up big time for Space Age Gaming. And I think that kill from Rampy actually threw a wrench in Dark Zero's strategy in their plan of attack. But now we're going to go straight to Armory Lockers and Archives, a favorable site on this map. And let's see if Space Station Gaming can go ahead and tie the game. If it's anything like last series, we saw 2 rounds go heavily in favor of one team. We also know another team can catch heat extremely fast. Nyx still on top as the Ash player, the entry fragger for this Dark Zero Esports roster. He's been a valuable player for this roster. Let's see if he can go ahead and open things up for his team this time around again.
The setup from SSG more than likely is going to be relatively similar to what we saw before, especially when it comes to reinforcement positioning and things of that nature. Operator lineup also looking pretty much the same from what we had the last times they played upstairs here. But the question is, again, how do they deny that early pressure from Dark Zero, and most importantly, the early control that they seem to be able to grab so easily on the 2 previous attempts on this site?
Chala pretty much only relying on his out of 5.56. But also, even though the Evil Eyes are being dispatched of quite quickly, you're also burning a lot of utility from Dark Zero, and you're burning a lot of time as well as they methodically and strategically move in to go ahead and dispose of those. So it's all about, it's a chess game at this point. You know, we move away from checkers, and you're going to have to burn time and also utility from Dark Zero if you want to go ahead and slow down their attack. So with the drone down on the first floor, Hyper's looking for another cheeky kill from his window. He's not able to spot anybody just yet, and he's going to go right towards East Stairs.
Yeah, unfortunately, the kill through that window is more of a one-time-a-match thing, unless your opponent really wants to get revenge from the earlier kill. Door's going to get open. BC nearly finding himself a very early fight here, but seems to have avoided it, at least for the time being. Sim and Hot and Cole are going to transition over to the rest of their teammates on the other side of the building. Still a lot of drone work being done on the first floor here, too, so that Nyx can work his way in and start to take some control. Ooh, very close to a pest.
Okay.
Gonna leap right over it. Oh, what is? Oh,
what is? I've never seen this before. I like it.
No, do more.
It's like he's doing parkour.
Yeah, drone parkour. I want to see more. Here we go. BC's gonna give us a bit of it.
By the way, for those of you at home, when I started studying Rainbow Six Siege a lot, I learned a lot of angles and tricks and whatnot from my man Coconut Bruh. If you haven't looked at his YouTube videos and you're new to the game, hey, even if you are good at the game, watch his videos. You'll learn a thing or two. He points out these different tricks that professionals do, and you pick up a new thing on the game every single time you play, especially whenever you click play on his videos.
He's also fighting an eternal battle with the Ubisoft developers over Purple Tarp.
Yes, they can't stop him.
It's always fun just to follow him just for that.
All right, so drone going right in Armory is going to get disposed of rather quickly, but Nyx is going to move in and going to shoot down his deployable shield. Get that out the way. It's going to stop any type of cover from Space Age Gaming as Dark Zero are looking to go in here and start a firestorm. So, with Ash currently in play, the R4C is going to be quite... No, it's a G360, the ACOG. We've seen that a lot. We've seen Carlito don it a few times, and he put out a lot of damage with it. Seems like a lot more players at the top level are starting to adopt it. But Hot and Cold, he's going to get Rampy out the game with a nice kill.
So finds him. That's, I believe, catching the... I believe that's the player that was behind half wall that Ash tried to pick up, but was unable to do so. First attempt at a plant. Trying to bait out the smoke. They're actually not going to get it. Same for a C4, too, but Same thing. It's actually not revealing a whole lot. Like, to be fair, Space Station really good restraint to know that that was going to be a fake for the most part. Now they have to force it, though. Time is incredibly low. First plant attempt's going to go down. Nyx is killed. We're also going to see BC wrap back in, though, finding Chala, cutting off the site. Bosco, along with Fultz, though, pick up 2 additional kills, and Mint, well, he's on rappel, so we can't really do anything. Space Station win it on the timer as they pick up another round and tie it up at 2-2.
Space Station were able to slow down Dark Zero. Wasn't that prone? Rampy had no idea what he was doing right there, but Space Station Gaming are going to go ahead and tie things up with 2 wins in a row. So 2-2 so far. I'm not sure if that gave SSG the motivational boost that they need to go ahead and stretch this lead and capture the lead for the first time in this game, but we're going to see this upcoming round. 2 rounds away from halftime. See what they're going to be all about. The alibi is going to be in play from Rampy, which is going to be dangerous. A 3-speed character with an amazing gun from mid and close range. He's able to catch you in the sights, you're going to be dead. It's going to be all about execution from that point forward.
Yeah, so this would be an indication that Space Station are starting to get a little bit more comfortable with their position and wanting to roam, wanting to kind of spread their wings a bit more, because the last 2 rounds, they've been playing an incredibly passively styled game in order to pick up points for themselves so far. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't necessarily work for every site. This one being the most prevalent example, you do need to roam a little bit more. You do need to hold active defense on areas like CCTV upstairs or risk getting overwhelmed pretty easily on this site. So that'll explain the additional kind of light characters that have been brought into the table for this round in order to add that versatility to their defense now.
And speaking of Coconut Bro, I'm going to have to show love to my man Gift Flames as well. He puts in great interviews and contents for the Siege scene. Support your content creators. Give Dark Zero a shout out. Visit his YouTube page and you better subscribe. But here we are in the action phase and folks throwing around a few vault cams over in CCTV. And is he going to hold the site down? I believe he's going to hold the site down. Okay. So the presence is going to be there. Let's see if Dark Zero applies the necessary pressure to drive him out.
Dark Zero, Nyx specifically looking to work his way in through main to start things out here. More than likely does have to do a little bit of droning work before he commits to anything, so just popping open some of the wooden barricades real quick. Meantime, back to the drone parkour show. Hyper's just got one rolling on top of the vents.
All right. We see such a big difference between Maestro and Echo as well, which is why we always expect Echo to get banned, but we usually see Maestro banned. The Evil Eyes have so many counters to where they're not, they don't carry a big presence when it comes to plant denial or just on the map in general. Yokai drones are a bit trickier to get rid of for the fact that they're mobile. You can move them around. But Chala, he's going to hold things down with Maestro, and hopefully he can turn things around for Space Station Gaming as well as their valuable anchor player. The Hyper, currently looking at his drone, not able to see anything just yet. It's pretty much quiet on all fronts right now, but you see the presence from SSG on the 2nd floor. As Dark Zero, they're moving in from bottom to up top, getting rid of all the roamers before they get right in the bomb site.
Chala, once again, still trying to play around with that primary hallway in order to peek and hopefully find an early pick here. Nothing going to be found, though. DZ, once again, taking a very slow approach to the first few seconds of the match. Minute and a half left, though, so they do need to start moving a little bit quickly. Starting to see them moving in very spread out, though, when you look at Dark Zero's attacking pattern right now. Don't necessarily seem to have a conjoined pinch anywhere except over towards jail so far. So this, in my opinion, with the way things are looking right now, could end up being another messy one for them. They've definitely looked a lot stronger when they've had conjoined pushes. And
I agree.
Right here, Maestro gets free spot onto Nyx, so he might find himself dead pretty soon. Oh, Fultz instead. Gonna be able to take him out. Brings us down into a 5v4 in Space Station. Once again, off to that good start.
So taking Nyx out the game, big. Fast character, she's silent when she's crouch stepping, and she has 2 amazing guns in her arsenal. And great utility with the stun nades and also that hard breach that's able to get rid of shields and able to dispose of walls. But with Zofia in play from Hyper, he's going to be able to replace one of those roles. But Mint's going to get a headshot on Rampy, open things up. As he swings by the open door near security, he's going to go ahead and get caught up as well. Dinkinade gets a double kill. Folks gets one as well. BC will go down, leaving it all up to Hyper. But Hyper, he's not going to go out without a fight. Getting a headshot on Dinkinade, shooting through the floor. He's not going to be able to connect.
Hyper keeps ringing the metal detector. He's like, come on, come fight me.
That's it.
No one's going to take it, though. Space Station.
Run out of time.
Yep.
So SSG, just going to be 3 in a row. Rampy's giving Mint some credit, and great effort by Dark Zero, but they seem to pretty much slow down for what we saw the first 2 rounds. SSG, they took the lead for the first time, and let's see if they can keep it.
Yeah, and I mean, once again, it's all passive play, and to a certain degree, Dark Zero kind of taking the wrong approach to these sites, in my opinion. It almost seems like they keep thinking they can bypass second story control of the necessary rooms whenever they're up against, event take or something like that. But
yeah,
in my opinion, you really can't do that. You kind of need to take control of those rooms, or just you won't be able to execute properly. You'll get shut down. So I don't know if Dark Zero is attempting, or like I said, I don't know if Dark Zero is trying to bring something new to the table, or if they're just trying to go for that type of control earlier on, but then running out of time, so they kind of have to force the issue downstairs. The highlight of this is that SSG is doing a great job of, thriving under that situation because they're not being pressured upstairs for the most part. They're just, keeping those 2 roamers in position and usually able to use that to punish Dark Zero later in the round when they go for a more direct push onto the site.
Dark Zero, I feel like they're doing a great job applying pressure, but Space Station, they have a better hold of the choke points. And as you see, Incanate and Rampy, able to pull off, kills in succession together, and they're able to go out on top because of that. So Dark Zero, let's see if they can tie the game before halftime comes around and they switch over to the defensive side of things. Barbed wire going down. Let's see what Chala has up his sleeve. He's going to hold down up top here in Armory. With the Evil Eye currently being placed. Wonder if he's going to make this his home? No, yeah, he's going to move right around. That Evil Eye is going to be for intel gathering purposes only.
He wasn't here last round, to be fair. Or at least he was upstairs last round. I think he played more towards CCTV. It was the more relevant position to play into. But once again, players from Dark Zero are going to find resistance very early on in the round just by trying to get their way in through customs. Even there is going to find resistance this time. So DZ just can't really find easy control anywhere. They are immediately going for upstairs control this time, though, which I like to see. CCTV is uncontested, so they'll be able to walk right in and get that. Now the focus needs to be on Armory. As long as they go for that, things should be a lot better and hopefully a lot smoother late round for them.
I'm going to have to agree. So clearing out CCTV, they know that there's no threat in there at all. Moving in slowly but surely, you want to dominate presence up top to open the floor beneath you. Be able to do that, might be able to pick up a kill or 2 with the verticality working out in your favor. Space Station, still being patient, holding on strong. Rampy, he's on an island right now. He's going to be the guy that's going to be a playmaker for his team if he's able to make the right rotation in the right flank. It's going to be all about timing right now. All right.
Finally, someone tries to get aggressive from Space Station. There you go. That's the punishment. This is what they've been hoping to avoid for the last 3 rounds that they have finally been sent their way. Hyper is going to end up killing Hot and Cold in the process of this execute somehow. He goes down, and that's the trade, I guess.
Bomb located by
In fact, more than that, as I'm pretty sure Thingy Nade's going to get... Never mind.
I had hope he was going to get revived.
Take that right back.
Nick said, not right now. He's going to go ahead and clean up the easy kill. Stinging Nade tries to crawl away. Down and out. It's going to be 1-for-1. Space Station Gaming, they're going to be without their bandit. But that hard breacher for Dark Zero Esports being gone is going to be an even bigger blow.
Attackers have recovered their
So,
diffuser.
with the diffuser currently being picked up, Bosco holding down the site currently. Chalice going to get the headshot after that moment of silence on BC.
Nick's now looking for the trade on the inside. The B site, but again, this is not really an angle you can hop right into, unfortunately. Oh, Ozzy's got drone intel too. He knows someone's at main door.
He ran away immediately.
It's gonna send the Ash running in the other direction as soon as she realizes. Smokes starting to be popped in, and that was just perfectly timed for Fultz right there. Looks right at it. Even gives himself a second to trade weapons too.
Oh.
Yash doesn't notice him. That's
Reload your weapon,
He doesn't
man.
even have to do anything at the end of the day. Only needs to get that first kill and just stand there, I suppose, as the Ash somehow doesn't realize he's there through all that chaos. And ultimately, Chala runs into the back and gets the kill instead. Another round for Space Station as they make it 4-2 at halftime.
Twerking around that server. He was dodging shots as he was trying to reload his SMG-11. It took a few tries, but he was able to run out alive. Pretty sure he got the reload by the time the round ended, but great round for Space Station Gaming. They're now going to go ahead and swap over to attack. They played extremely well on defense. They keep that type of patience and momentum up, that strategic gameplay to match up with Dark Zero's, the big brains on that side. Shout out to BK. They're matching up extremely well. Punch for punch. Whatever Dark Zero throws at them, Space Station Gaming, they seem to be 2 steps ahead of them. They have an answer to everything currently being thrown at them.
It's not only that, but Dark Zero seem to be very hard-headed in their strategies too. Like once they were committed to something, they would go for that, even if they lost, 1 to 3 players in the process of it, and it wasn't, maybe not the best decision to try and do something that aggressive anymore. They would still try and kind of throw themselves at a fight, maybe try and pick up a trade or, to justify their own aggression or the loss of life that may have happened a few seconds before. But far more often than not, this just led to Space Station picking up multiple kills against them due to the passive style that they took for most of the half there.
All right, so next is going to be on Maestro. He's going to be the hardcore anchor for this roster. See if the Evil Eye's coming to play in the Alda. Let's see if he's going to be ripping through a few bodies from the attackers coming on the site. But Bosco is going to be on Jack for the first time we're going to see him this matchup. He's going to be roam denial. If he sees those footsteps, you're going to be in trouble. And shooting a hole towards the east stairs, such a great angle. Nyx might be able to pick off a kill or two if someone dares try to go from that angle. With the drone coming out, CCTV is currently under pressure, and Space Station Gaming, they're not wasting any time to clear that way out.
So CCTV looks like it's going to be the first target for these guys to try and move in and take control of. This looks like your much more typical approach to this site for the most part. That kind of slow uptake into CCTV. Start from there, use that as your staging ground. Then move over, get areas like archives and the armory. And then, of course, since we are against a ventilation attack for the first round, then, of course, drop down the hatch and initiate the attack for everybody else that might have downstairs control.
I think Andy saw the out of 556 just tip of the gun, and the drone play came in to ping him out as well. But with the aggressive play, Rampy's going to go ahead and run right in. And with the first kill, Nyx is going to go down. But Nyx, being the anchor for this roster, he's not going to be able to utilize those Evil Eyes, but he will be able to view them while he's in the graveyard. So SSG attacking as a unit. They're going to clean out CCTV successfully. And Bosco, he's going to find out where Legion is.
Can use those Evil Eyes, but it should be noted he cannot move them. So considering he had one over on the east wall there, that's looking outside, he can't turn it to say, look inside. Should an execute happen or something. Oh, no, the timing. Hyper just goes right out against Fultz, catches him on camera. That's Capitao gone bye-bye. And the round put back down into an even situation at 4v4.
Fultz picking up his 3rd death in 7 rounds. Capitao's going to be out, and Sophia's going to join him. Rampy and Fultz, 2 dangerous players, 2 dangerous operators, currently out of play, but Mozzie is going to go ahead and get tracked. So Bosco's going to try to hunt him down. A few stun grenades coming through.
It's be a great bait if they push it.
Yeah, Chala's going to man up with him. Utilizing the buddy system is not going to matter as Hyper's going to get the headshot and the kill, but Bosco and Thinking they're going to get the refrag plus more. Evening the odds. It's going to be a 2v2 as Bosco is going to go ahead and get revived. But all you have on defense currently, Valkyrie, also Hyper. Let's see if they have what it takes. I wonder if they both have nitro cells on their end. I don't remember hearing them go off. Nope, no nitro cells on both teams. Marcio, I love you. Such a great spectator.
Hyper also just hopping out of there, by the way. Makes the run out and gets out of that kind of difficult position he had placed himself into. Diffuser going to go onto the ground, and only 15 seconds left here, so not really a whole lot of time for Bosco and Thinking need to work with. They basically just have to go right for it. One little check here to make sure he doesn't run into any goo mines, but he's basically got to hop to it. Oh, finds the feet of a player as well. Diffuser now stuck downstairs. There's the knight, but where is Mozzie? Not anywhere near here, unfortunately. So time will expire, and Dark Zero will win it on the timer, bringing them up to 3-4 on the map.
So unfortunate. If that kill never happened up hatch and Thinking Egg was able to roam down and look in the server, he would have been able to be such a big distraction that the objective player would have been able to jump down a hatch and get a kill of his own, while Dark Zero would currently focus on the player on the flank over in server room. But unfortunately, the first kill happened up hatch. Dark Zero able to waste enough time to win the round out. Dark Zero currently down 1 round from tying things up with Space Station Gaming, but Doc is coming into play with Mint, and that's going to be scary. Hyper's going to be roaming with Jaeger, and no better player to play Smoke than BC. His patience and map awareness is going to pay off big for Dark Zero on this route to come back against Space Station Gaming.
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
All right, so let's see. They'll head upstairs now. So the defense will be played in a very similar fashion, at least in terms of the early to mid round loadout. from both of these teams. It's just late round where things are going to vary a little bit since we are focused on those upstairs sites this time instead of the ones directly below it. Operator lineups are going to change accordingly with that, but for the most part, as you can see, they actually do stay pretty much the same on both attack and defense. You can play it in a very similar fashion.
All right, Bosco's going to be on Jackal again. We all saw what his utility brought to the table, being able to sniff out footsteps. Also, he has those 2 smoke grenades that came in late in the game, but they are valuable if he's able to stick with his teammates to get the objective down. Space Station Gaming's biggest flaw that round took way too much time to get on the site, and that was the reason why they caught an L last round. But Han Code is Maestro holding down Armory. He's going to be the first line of defense if Space Station wants to attack from that route.
It's going to be interesting about the reinforcement there from Han Cold too, is the wall is left soft. So Space Station can just pop that right open and go for a very quick attack, but they'll have to be very careful of that for reasons you might expect. There's an expectation that the team is held up quite with a lot more defenses anyway, further back into the site towards like small office and in between the lockers themselves. So it's a bit of a deceiving open wall or soft wall when that one's left open.
All right, we see the IQ play coming in from Thinking 80. I'm not sure what he's currently looking for, but he's making sure that nothing's going to come out and catch him on surprise if it's a Valkyrie or whatnot. But Bosco from underneath, utilizing that secondary shotgun, he's able to pick up those footsteps, something I spoke about earlier on in the game. Legion's going to get tagged out. So SSG with that intel on their end, it's going to be all about how they act on it. They know he's in CCTV, probably with a teammate or two. With the smoke grenade coming out, Nyx with the run out. Folks is going to stop that easily. With one more kill that can go to Space Station Gaming, Rampy is able to get the nice headshot on BC.
Could get a third too.
Yeah, they keep running right at Space Station Gaming, and no, their heads are just magnets for bullets at this point. SSG, they're starting off strong.
Way too aggro, unfortunately, from Dark Zero at the end of the day. I don't think they realized the amount of intel that SSG had on their positions, and as a result of that, took far more fights than necessary, now giving them this very decisive 5v3. Pretty much no damage being done to anyone else from the team at this point either, so it's a really good control over it.
A bomb has been located.
Still holding presence in CCTV. They know they need to cross over on the Armory. But with the minute left, Space Station Gaming, they have enough time to go ahead and make this push, but honing down that line of sight is going to be Hyper, and he's confident in his aim. And he's sure to pick off a head if someone's able to run through, and by shooting out a drone, Space Station, they're going to be without that extra intel device. The men's aiming in the office, and SSG, they're way past that point. Bosco's going to pick up yet another kill. It's going to be 3 straight for SSG, and Dark Zero, they don't have an answer yet, but with the diffuser currently going down from Shala, it's going to be successful. They're going to back on up, and Thinking 8 is going to get 4. This can be a flawless round.
So we see Hyper trade that frag out on a Rampy anyway. It was going to be. In the grand scheme of things, still looking relatively flawless at this point for SSG. Not much that Hyper's going to be able to do in the post-plant scenario now. There goes the metal detector. They know he's worked his way back into the site. The crossfire will take him down very quickly when he goes in between the 2 locker rows, and that'll be Bosco finalizing the round, keeping SSG in control at 5-3.
I love Space Station Gaming's playstyle so far. The first time around, they seem to be real frag heavy when they played Dark Zero here on Border. Now, they're patient, taking their time, picking apart Dark Zero one by one. I love how the Jackal play is coming in from down low, able to sniff out those footsteps. They're attacking CCTV as a unit. They're not risking a 1v1. They're fighting it by holding angles from the balcony, by having 2 people jump through the window or, the doorway, being a team to get the refrag in case it needs to happen. But great kills from SSG to start things off, 4 in succession. Dark Zero able to pick one up late with Hyper trying to work out a clutch. Didn't work out in his favor. And SSG, they're up by 2.
All right, guys, so SSG, 2 rounds in the lead, 2 rounds away from closing out on the match here, punching their ticket to next week's match. How'd you go on there for a sec? Still one more game to go for either one of these teams. Of course, they have to beat Rise next Thursday in a best of 3. That will be the match that'll punch their ticket to the actual LAN finals happening later on this year.
All right, so here it goes. 20 seconds up to go before we get right into the action. But False on Capital has pretty much been his operator choice lately. We haven't seen heavy utility coming from him to, swing the game into his favor. But, his gunplay has definitely spoken. Rampy, Nat being on top when it comes to kills, Nat being, you know, a dramatic playmaker for this roster, it, you know, speaks wonders for this roster. Everyone else is picking things up, and I'm loving the play from Shala as well. Shala being, you know, the anchor, the hard breacher. They're not expected to be high up when it comes to stats, but he's winning these gunfights. He's getting right into the thick of action.
All right, well, here we go. SSG working their way up to the balconies again to start taking some map control and working their way towards the sites. Dark Zero is going to look to respond to this. Probably not with anything too crazy. I think it was aggressiveness that ultimately kind of set them down the road in the last round, so they do need to pull that back a bit or risk additional round losses here. And they really can't afford to take any more round losses. Space Station's only 2 away from closing out on the map and knocking Dark Zero. Remember, you know, there's no second chance here in the conference qualifier. Unfortunately, you get knocked out, even in a best of 1.
Yeah, you're dead.
We'll see you next stage.
See you in September, buddy. Make sure you guys sign up as well. The signups have been open. I want to see that bracket full. And let's see who's going to be the next Parallax Gaming. Well, before they lost to Rise Nation, of course.
You know, so a lot on the line again for a best of 1, especially when you consider the amount of times that Dark Zero had to play. And I'm pretty sure SSG literally only had to play 1 week, and they just, you know, swooped right in. Dark Zero played in literally every single week and only qualified like a week or 2 ago.
Oh, wow.
Nice find for Bosco.
Yeah, Hankoda had no idea where Bosco was, and when he had a piece of his head sticking out, Bosco was able to put a bullet right into it. And with CCTV present, Space Station Gaming, they're now going to go ahead and wood pack it. With soft destruction coming in through the wall, the line of sights have currently been open, and SSG are looking to pick up yet 1 more. There's going to be 2 of them in that area. There's going to be, yeah, 1. He's going to be all alone. He's fighting for his life right now. And there you have it, Bosco. He's going to clean up the easy kill. And you see, yeah, 1 more.
I mean, Space Station is like fragging at this point. They're just slowly knocking these guys out 1 by 1. Dark Zero, unfortunately, not finding the support system that they need in order to trade these out appropriately. As Space Station's just doing a great job of droning out individual players that are alone on the map, knocking them out and not leaving much room for recourse.
Yeah, pretty much the story here, Dark Zero, they're failing when it comes to protecting CCTV.
Oh my god.
Wow.
It's a lot of feet. Be breathing.
All right, a lot of footsteps to choose. He was able to pick out Maestro. And with Maestro currently being tagged, he's put in a few shots. Maestro has no idea where the shots are coming from. Up top, down below, it doesn't matter. Bosco is going to take him out the game. SSG, they're going to be flawless in this victory, winning round number 9. That's going to be it. But like I said, man, Dark Zero's presence in CCTV has been non-existent. Space Station Gaming, they've been applying so much pressure. They've had them on their backs every single round, and it's almost flawless whenever SSG attacks CCTV. Dark Zero, they sent 1 player in there. You know, yeah, that player got capped a few times, so let's send 2. Not a problem. SSG still putting in 3 to 4 players in that 1 area to clear that out, and they've been successful every single time. The roam presence from Dark Zero has been non-existent when it comes to that 2nd floor.
And they can't really, because Bosco is being so effective on Jackal right now.
Yeah.
He's almost always getting the right scans to try and lock out these roamers, and when they do, normally the roamers end up running themselves into a corner. That last round was a great example of it. I think 2 or 3 kills in a row were found pretty much specifically because of the Inacles. So,
yeah, Jackal's been a dominating factor right now. Jackal's been the MVP pick for Bosco, and there's no better player than to have him on top of it, and he's on top of the game. 10 and 4 with 6 assists. Wow. Veteran presence, experience shows, and a guy is a former champion. He wants to go to LAN again. They had a pretty disappointing loss against Rogue, and it pretty much choked away the game, where I believe it was, what, match point? Rogue came back and they knocked him out on LAN at USN 2018 over there in Las Vegas. First time I met you, Blue, and the rest of the Rainbow Six crew. And this time around, SSG, they're not looking to have that L again, knocking on their door. So, map point, Dark Zero, what you got? Let's see.
Gotta be something different here from DZ. Gotta be a little bit more heads up. Gotta be able to use the team dynamics a little bit better here. I understand the Jackal is a little bit hard to deal with, especially when you're starting out the round so split up. And we need to see a change up in that remark. They need to try and do a better job of trapping Space Station, baiting them into plays. Space Station has so much control over the matchup now. They're gonna get aggressive. They're gonna be a little bit tunnel vision in some respects if they can lock players down like that again. So abuse that factor. Try to sacrifice maybe one of your own for the sake of trading out kills here. 6-3 though, ultimately, as we get further into this round. Space Station just need to close this one, and they'll have the map. But a much better start this time as Nyx on the castle upstairs is able to find Zofia early on.
And a great way to start the game by taking out the one and only Rampy. Sofia's taken out, and Dark Esports are going to get the first blood for the first time in quite a while. So when the C4 currently plays towards these stairs, they're not going to worry about a run out. But CCTV being clear, Bosco is going to punch his way through this castle barricade. It's going to take a lot of time to get through that, especially with Rampy out the game with that air jab.
We're going to drone on the inside here too, so once again they can use that. It's been a huge power piece for them. Oh, however, C4 going to get chucked out. Oh, the window is not fully blown as far as I can tell, so that is the only thing that manages to save his life under those attacking circumstances right there.
And a drone denial is going to be in play, especially with Mozzie on the board. So Hanako, his utility placement is pretty good. Oh, with the ping. I wonder if Bosco can go ahead and wall bang for that kill. He has no idea, but with the exothermic charge currently coming through by Shala, another doorway has currently been opened. Space Station Gaming able to stretch out their strategy. Now down to 1 minute and 15 seconds, only one player taken off the board. Let's see how they're going to attack being down for the first time in quite a while. He's going to sniff out these footsteps from a great angle, and it's going to be Castle.
So finding one, and again, player's relatively alone. So it's not going to be the hardest thing in the world to try and track down. There you go, easy pickings. He does have support this time though, so there's a chance for a trade. Don't want to call this one done and dusted just yet. So we do see a Nitro Cell getting chucked back in their direction. Bosco and Chala though, getting the much better outcome out of that one as they pick up 2 additional kills, and just like a few other rounds, Space Station turned the overall round back on its head and now lead at 4v2.
Right, Thinking Nade utilizing IQ.
Nice.
Hyper went prone and took Thinking Nade right out the game. Caught him on the steps, and it's going to be more footsteps currently being tracked. Bosco is having a field day right now. There's nowhere to hide whenever he's on the map, and just barely missing a headshot. Chala's going to try to redeem himself. With the smoke grenade currently going out, SSG, they're going to go for the objective play, getting the bomb down. And Bosco is going to have his back, and we see the X-ray. Oh, they try to move in close. It's going to be a definite kill, and there you have it. Space Station Gaming. They're going to go ahead and move on to the finals as Bosco is going to clean up the kill on Hyper. And Space Station Gaming moves on.
Really solid attacking half from Space Station overall. Incredibly difficult to deal with, especially the Jackal play. Second to none, really, from Bosco right there. Definitely deserves praise for the way he was able to utilize it in that matchup. Did such a great job of making Dark Zero's road game essentially non-existent throughout that half. And obviously, as a result of that, made executes incredibly easy throughout the rest of the attacking side, along with just a generally good performance on his defensive half as well. Great stuff from Space Station, and they take a well-deserved 7-3 scoreline to move them forward. Unfortunately for Dark Zero, they've got to start all over again. 4 cups in a row. They did finally make it in on that last one.
So close but so far.
But failing in the first match, we'll have to see them once again in stage 3.
So for what was it, 80 out of 112 games they've played?
They was all 4, right? They qualified. They qualified last week, didn't they?
They did. No. It was a week before that.
So it was 3 weeks. Excuse me. Yeah, I thought it was either 3 or 4. I just forget which one exactly.
Yeah.
So either way, 3 weeks of qualification runs, or not, including stage 1 as well. We didn't even talk about that. Oh, it's gotta be frustrating, but it's the way that the game works here at USN. So we will have to see them a few more times to try and make that run once again once stage 3 comes back in the season, back in September.
This was the Bosco show. This was a Bosco show. When the moment I saw him almost clutch that out with the Valkyrie, I knew something was special with this guy. Call him Boss Goat for a reason. Almost getting that clutch, he failed, but he came back even stronger, especially with Jackal in the second half. But Nyx started off hot as well. I thought Dark Zero, I thought they were going to run away with a large lead in the beginning. But Nyx slowed down, and Space Station started to catch up. And that is what spelled trouble for Dark Zero Esports. They failed a lot when it came to CCTV play, and they were pretty hard-headed when it came to the strategy, like you said before. Space Station Gaming, they saw the same looks over and over again, and they successfully frog leaped over every single thing that Dark Zero threw at them.
A lot of parallels to the, no pun intended here, a lot of parallels to the Parallax match, actually, believe it or not. With the way that they get off to kind of like a hot-handed start, and then things like kind of like fall apart from that point forward for different reasons, I think, to be honest. but still very similar fashion to how that match ended up playing out, as well as Dark Zero just kind of failing to launch in multiple aspects after those first 2 rounds. I mean, you could see the scoreline slowly starting to change here. It looked great for Dark Zero, but all of a sudden, like, you're not really seeing any, besides that one, you're not really seeing any aggressive plays from Dark Zero anymore. They're not really capable of getting out into the open or trying to do anything kind of creative against Space Station, because Space Station's doing such a fantastic job of restricting them.
Yeah, pretty much an entirely different game matchup than we saw the first time these two teams faced off on Border here at USN. Space Station Gaming, it seemed almost as if they relied heavily on Rampy being just an all-out playmaker along with Bosco. Folsy didn't fit in as well. And Space Station, it looked like their strategy just wasn't up to par. This time around, they were way more slower, way more methodical, and had all of their angles covered. And Dark Zero Esports, they didn't look too strong. Both teams, granted, they both gotten so much better. This was great. This was the CCTV dominance I was talking about. Rampy jumps in, gets 2 kills along with his teammates, and they run straight through Dark Zero.
Which is another thing we didn't really see from Dark Zero on their own attacking side too. I talked about this. I think like second floor when attacking first floor objectives was pretty underutilized by Dark Zero. And like I personally never really saw the reason for this. It seemed like a personal choice they were making to avoid playing so aggressively into the second floor. But it's very odd when it's such a prevalent strategy and how well it worked for Space Station. So.
And that round right there, as you just saw, BC running around, trying to find out where he's getting shot from, and Bosco clears him up. It just shows just the suffocation that Space Station Gaming was providing throughout the entire match. They had their foot on their necks. Just shooting you from the first floor to the second floor, you had to look everywhere to see where the gunfire was currently coming from, and it was just way too much for Dark Zero Esports. I love the pressure, I love the aggression, and I love the execution. Foltz has been so good on this roster. He's a perfect fit. This team knows exactly what they're doing, man. They're going to go far.
Absolutely. So another congratulations once again here to the members of Space Station Gaming who are going to move forward and make their way into that final matchup. Now, everything from this point forward is a best of 3, ladies and gentlemen. Both are East and West Coast remaining matches. There's only 1 left for each region at this point in Stage 2, and it will be a best of 3 between the teams that have made it that far, with the winners now qualifying for LAN. All that's going to take place next week on Tuesday and Thursday, respectively.
Yep, and it's interview time, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the coach of Space Station Gaming. I'm guessing Lycan. Let's see if I'm right. And Lycan, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. So, congratulations. This match was entirely different than the first time you guys played on Border. What was the biggest change, in your opinion, in regards to strategy?
I guess the biggest change is that it was all like pretty much the exact same. So we knew what they were going to do. Both of us, both going to the major, both don't want to show new stuff. We assumed a lot of what they were going to do was going to be like what they did before. So we just prepped a lot of practice into taking CC, because that was what we struggled on really hard last time. And it really pushed our attacks forward really well.
In regards to CCTV, it seemed like Dark Zero were pretty much hard-headed. They were stubborn. They wanted to hold it down, but they kept losing the same exact way. And there was a round in particular where Rampy just jumps right in behind control panel and got a 2K. As people were running straight by. Were you guys shocked that they didn't change that up at all? Or could saving strats actually have been a thing in this case?
I don't think it was like a case of saving strats. I think that they were confident in like how they handled us last time in CC, so they wanted to keep it the same. I don't necessarily think like they were going to forfeit trying to get a win on us, you know what I mean? But I think it was really just us trying to be more aggressive. Usually, like, sometimes we're more passive, and we just said, we're going for it. And so I think that they were a little surprised by how quickly we were doing things.
Right. So taking all professionalism out the window, be real with me, talk to the chat for a second. Bosco is disgusting. When he got on Jackal, it was game over. What factor does Bosco bring to the team, and what makes him so damn good for SSG, man? He took over.
Yeah, no, I wish you guys could hear a lot of the comms we have. I can't really let you hear them, but I can tell you when Bosco starts going off, nothing's stopping him, dude. He's a freight train. And in comms, he's cheering everyone on, trying to get everyone to catch up with him. And he's just a big force for our team. And when he gets going, the rest of the team follows right behind him. And he's a great leader.
All right. So I love that, man. I want to hear Bosco as the emotional support for this team. It's amazing. So with that being said, you guys are going on a trip in your favorite rocket ship to the finals. One more game to go to LAN. Thank you, fans. Say whatever you want to say. This is it. Oh, excuse me. This is it. What do you have to say to the viewers out there?
Yeah, everyone who shows up and watches USN, guys, I appreciate everyone, no matter what team you support. Thank you for watching Rainbow Six Siege. I appreciate it. And we'll see you for the next USN game we have to play.
One more to go, man. Thank you so much, Lycan. I love you. I'll catch you next time.
All right, you too, man.
All right. All right, so there you have it. Lycan, the coach of Space Station Gaming. And I didn't expect that, man. I always thought Bosco was a quiet guy. But apparently he gets hyped, and when he gets hyped, there's no better player on your roster than, the leading fragger on your team to just yell and get everybody, rallied up.
And while we're on the topic of Bosco, it's time to talk about our MVPs, ladies and gentlemen. Mine being Bosco out of this game. The Jackal play most notably coming out in the attacking half on top of, I believe, just being the general top performer in the match, which obviously that kind of speaks for itself. 100% cost, by the way. So
Crazy.
literally a part, essentially meaning that he was an integral part of every single round in that game that his team won.
Yes. So my MVP pick, I couldn't pick Bosco because Bosco is a unanimous decision, right?
I stole him. He's mine.
Right. I picked Thinkinade because I chose second. I hate you. I picked Thinkinade because of the fact that when Dark Zero started to win the first 2 rounds, it was Thinkinade that really started fragging out early on to give the momentum to Space Station Gaming. The 2Ks he was getting, the presence he was putting in to help out with IQ and clearing out CCTV was vital. It's a team game. He's a great team player.
Thinkinade in general has been a bit of a momentum saver for SSG. I've noticed that and this is always a really good trait of a player that's going to do well like across their career. I've noticed he does well even in the matches where his team isn't doing that well. Some of the other guys on SSG do seem a little bit momentum based, where if the overall team is not doing that great and if they're falling behind in a matchup,
I agree.
Their stats are going to fall behind too. But that isn't really the case for Thinkinade. He always seems to be able to perform even when the vibe around his team is relatively negative in that specific match.
And it's even a chess game of Rainbow Six Siege. Whenever they're trying to breach through a wall, we saw him protecting armory and whatnot, with the bandit charges. The guy is great. But look at the kill difference. 25 and 41. It was not like this the first time around at all. Entirely different. 6 opening kills for Space Station Gaming. Entry fragging was on point. 2 plans to 1. And Bosco, the unanimous MVP decision. Great gameplay coming from them. They look like a new roster, man. I love this team change. I love Folds.
Far too many one-sided rounds on the attack, basically,
I agree.
and that shows you why the kill difference in the two teams is so divisive.
CCTV.
Yeah.
That was it.
CCTV is ultimately the end decider there. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to close out the festivities for this week on USN. We still have one more week to go for Stage 2, however, and those are the fun ones, as that's when we finally go up to best of 3s, and we finally have some spots on LAN on the line. Don't forget, though, folks, that we also have our weekly clip contest going, sponsored by their friends over at Venmo. It's our Venmo Community Spotlight. We have $700 being given away every single week just for you to send us your clips. They can be Twitch clips, they can be YouTube clips, they can be any type of clip as long as it's Rainbow Six related. Doesn't have to be necessarily any type of gameplay criteria either. Send us your funny stuff. I love funny stuff personally. Send us your cool stuff. I also love cool stuff. Be sure to make sure you have the hashtag Venmo Community Spotlight somewhere in the content, and also on top of that, be sure to submit it at the link down below here. ESL.gg/Venmo-R6USN is where you can both submit your clip and find the rest of the rules for the contest.
And also, for those of you at home, if you've never watched Inside the USN, that's where Blue Stokes and I, we do a weekly recap show about everything that's been happening. We talk about the best plays, clutches, what's to come. We also call out the winners of the Venmo Community Contest. So $700 will be given away on Monday. Catch that show on YouTube.
We're going to be picking the winner of this week's contest within the next few hours, folks, so make sure you get those submissions in soon. Besides that, though, that is going to be the end of our live competition for this week, so be sure to join us next Tuesday and Thursday, where we have the West and East Coast playoffs come to a close respectively and qualify 2 more teams to LAN, putting us halfway there as we inch closer and closer to that LAN. Thanks very much for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week.